my gosh, we're here. We're live on the internet. We're doing it, you guys. It's so cute. It's already so cute. You guys like this out there in the Philly fam? Wow, there's a lot of people here. You all are a crazy audience. This is like
Friday
impressive and
night.
exciting for a Friday night. Hello, Philly fam. I'm going to keep calling you that until I hear objections. I hope you like our fancy background. I spent way too much time obsessing and fixating on it. Special thanks to our friend Prez, who like gave me some feedback. I hope it's like readable and legible and whatever. Yeah, look at that. 2 raccoons. Wait a minute. I can't see cute Melissa's little thing here. Hold on a second. We can fix that. Bing! There it is. Hi, guys. How is everyone? Are you guys excited?
Yeah.
So excited.
Me too. I'm like floored. We've been talking about this for like way too long. Humblewood, we're gonna play. I'm like out of my mind. So yeah, I guess just to like set us up for anybody out there who's like, what the heck is going on? I like had a friend of mine point me towards Humblewood years ago. They were doing a Kickstarter. The whole thing is kind of inspired by the cover art that you see on the book. It's this little tiny adorable owl, which I believe is a doodle that the kind of creator had like been writing for like years and years and years, and it inspired them to like create this whole campaign world, and they adapted it for like 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons, right? So this is very much 5th edition D&D. The stuff you're like familiar with, it's all here. Paladins and rogues and warlocks, oh my. But in the Humblewood, there are no elves and dwarves and halflings. There are certainly no tieflings, nor lizard folk, nor warforged. Instead, there are the humble folk and the bird folk, but we're not going to worry about them tonight. So yeah, it's this really awesome, adorable campaign setting. It's set in the Humblewood. They kick you like a whole cool map, and they give you like a breakdown of all these really cool like character races, right? You have mice and deer and hedgehogs and raccoons, quite obviously. There are foxes as well, and then there's a whole series of bird folk. There are kind of like chickens and pigeons and owls and hawks and crows, of course. Ravens, perhaps, would be better term. But they all have very like cool names, and there's a whole cool like mythology there. But I'm like rambling. I would be remiss if I did not acknowledge that we all, like as a group of individuals, met over at Post Show Recaps. If there's anybody out there like watching this who does not know what Post Show Recaps is, it's their 1-year anniversary of their Patreon. I implore you to go check it out. Patreon.com/postshowrecaps. We all play D&D together over there in this big, huge, sprawling West Marches game with a lot of like the awesome people that are in the chat tonight. And we play in Aglarond, which is this sort of forest kingdom on the eastern side of the Sea of Fallen Stars and Forgotten Realms. And it's a forest. If I didn't say that word enough time, let me just say it one more time. Forest. Okay.
The Wizened?
It's out of my system.
Got it?
Yeah.
You got it now?
Forest the Wizened. I think I might have.
Okay, I should make a note.
So as soon as as soon as we all like started chatting about it, and I hate you all up, it was like, what do you guys say? You want to play Humblewood? And I received like enthusiastically endorsing yeses all around. We were like, okay, so we have to do this in the Yuirwood, right? This is the Humbleyuir. So for any of the folks like from our Glarendar game, there'll be some connective tissue here, though don't expect to see your characters pop up. I don't know.
I imagine canonically sometime in game we cause this enormous explosion and just somebody looking out the window of the hole just hears a pew. What was that?
So tiny though. It's like
Your character could speak to all of theirs, Jess Sterling. But they don't speak common. It's all very interesting. It's very, very exciting. I don't know. Is there anything like you guys want to like get into? Are you fired up? We like got together like a couple of weeks ago to make our characters, and we did like a little mini world building thing. I had a whole list of like cool questions like asking about you all and your relationships with each other, and gosh, it was like so exciting and intoxicating. And I've been thinking about this like a lot since then. Like October 8th seemed like a far, far time to wait, but it is here. So
Yeah,
Austin,
trying
I
to
took.
contain my excitement for this over the last couple of weeks was very, very tough to do. So when all the little snippets started rolling out, I was like, "Oh, we're doing this. Oh, and here's what it is. And finally, here's who involved." It was like, "Oh, thank God, I can talk about how cute this is going to be."
it's very cute. It's unquestionably very cute. You guys out there in the chat, let me know if like the music is like killing us here. I'm trying to get my audio settings right. I'm like kicking it up a little bit. I got like channel points fired up. I don't know if anybody cares about that. We got a bunch of emotes brand new last week. We got waffle and dragonflies and eerie and professors and crixuses and even me. Oh my, there you go. Blow it up. Like I do this full time, you guys. Anybody who could like kick me the Twitch Prime subs or a follow if you're wandering in, it like means the world to me. So that's it. That's like my early shilling. I'll get it out of the way.
Is that a professor emote?
Yeah.
It is. I got a little professor emote. Yeah. Troy very graciously set me up with the waffle, the D20, and a couple of the other ones, and I was so like, okay, well, that means like the professor has cemented himself with the 50 emote. You know, we got to get the professor in the chat. You know, cool.
I was just going to say, Austin, I took a photo earlier that I'll send you of the 13 Redwall books that are currently on the bookcase behind me.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I love it.
Made sure to bring that in because I've been waiting my whole life to live in the Redwall world.
Right. It was actually making me kind of emotional, shocking. Thinking about like people on like opposite sides of the world who like were reading these books when like I started reading these books when I was like 8. And I'm sure you were like around the same age, and like now we're friends from like across the world, and it just made me really happy.
It's been really cool seeing a lot of folks as we've been like hyping this up, being like, oh yeah, Redwall was my jam too. So I'm very excited for all of the Redwall energy, for all of the the many other warrior mice and woodland adventurer stories that are out there that we're all getting to kind of bring that together and tell our own story in that space. So it's very heartwarming. It's very exciting. I can't wait.
It's definitely going to be the cutest show on Twitch. So like my like mouse DNA probably goes back to The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, right? Prince Caspian. There's this like great character, Reepicheep, who's kind of like this pirate mouse. And like, let me tell you guys, like if any of you have ever seen me play the elf known as Andromeda's Vesk, like big inspiration coming from that. Like, I'm like bigger than my size belies. My courage outstrips my scale, I like love it. And Mouse Guard is like one of my favorite comics of all time. There's a great tabletop role-playing game there too. That is a conversation for another day, lest I burn 3 hours ranting about that. But I love that you guys are coming with like the Redwall energy and like super fired up. And I really love that we have a tiny mouse person here in our midst. I don't know. What about the rest of you all? It's worth me pointing out, I am the only American here. I have assembled this crack international crew. We are spanning continents and time zones, and Aiden is a champion.
Yeah, what time is it there right now?
now?
It's perfect D&D playing time. That's what time it is. It's time to play D&D. I also just love it's the American DM, the Irish guy, and the Commonwealth.
Yeah.
So I was definitely, how do we link this? I was like, well, 4 of the 6 tech kind of have this loose connection.
Austin, if you shoot me the link to the artist there, I'll make sure like I get it in the chat. The moderation is like, oh, no links. You can't be posting links, guy. So it's worth saying that, we're using all like the tokens that you're seeing for our friends here. This is like the actual official art from Humblewood. We're using that as like a placeholder for now. Excellent. Thank you, Micah. Our dear friend Sean is like working on some things, so brace yourself for episode 2 because it's going to be even cuter. And so I could like sit here and like talk to you guys about this all night. I don't know if there's any like thing that you all want to like announce or talk about or just mention before we get started. Is there any like last celebrations or salutations we should make before we like try to play a game?
Well, I was not accused, but mentioned that by some of the Sabotage the DM crew. Shout out to Sabotage the DM. That they characters I play with them have always just been these kind of unhinged lunatics who are somewhat dangerous to be around. So yeah. Let's see if I can continue that train going, or what other direction I was going. I'll show you unhinged later.
I will be very surprised if your character is that unhinged.
Oh, no, he's a madman.
Then again, let me ask: do you guys have any? This is where I like do it every time. Do we have any like bookkeeping, housekeeping questions, mechanical stuff? Is there anything we need to go over? Do you guys know how 20-sideds work? Gray seems to be really thinking about that.
Well, I had a different question, which was, you were like, they don't speak common. And I was like, yeah, I guess in my character, we don't speak common.
Wait,
is that a thing we have
to each other, right?
Yeah, that was a thing that I was just gonna, like, as we were just about to embark on this adventure, is there a mechanic in which we can talk to each other? Because looking at my languages now, I don't know that I speak anything else that anybody else speaks, except for one person. There's one character that I might speak the same language as.
But I think we all speak birdfolk, which is like the equivalent of common in
that's
the Humbleyuir. So
yes.
So we're talking to each other in bird sounds? Oh,
what?
The image of episode 1 being all of us working at a complex hand so we can actually talk
exactly.
to each other.
All the voice work we all
of
prepare.
This is all
I went
mine.
nuts last night installing fonts on my computer, and I proceeded to come up with the freaking Humble Scratch font, and I was like, oh great, I'm like looking for all the authentic Humblewood fonts, right? So I can like try to get the UI like looking sharp, right? And I proceed to get like Humble Scratch. I'm like, oh, this is great, and I install it and I start typing. It's a whole different language.
Like
you know? I'm like writing in Elvish,
Amazing.
you know? I like put the title up and it's legit like bird scratches across the back. I'm like, this looks really cool, but probably I should use actual English letters. You know.
Okay, so we all speak bird folk.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
That's hilarious that we're
Just
not birds and we all speak. That's hilarious.
It is hilarious. You guys know me. I'm like want to nerd out on this stuff, but like the fact that you all speak bird folk and don't have a shared language between each other, like tells us something about the setting already,
100%.
right? The nature of the Humblewood is such that the birds are sort of like the aristocracy, the noble class, for a lack of a better term. And so in the history of the Humblewood, the birds began to raise up these great kind of cities in the trees, the perch cities, and they established the perch guard. And over time, some of the humble folk would come to live in the trees amongst the bird folk, and conversely, some of the bird folk would make their way down to the forest floor to live amongst the humble folk. But there is this kind of, I don't want to call it conflict, but an inherent kind of tension between these two classes. In certain cases, every case is going to be different, and I don't want to paint in too broad of strokes, but this is a very relevant thing about the context of our world, right? That the like common is like bird folk. Each of these like various races, the Jerbeen and the Mapach and the Cervans, they all have their own language. And of course the Hedges, I'm sorry.
Thank you. Thank you.
So we had a very interesting conversation as we made characters, and a lot of you all landed on little mammals rather than little birds. And there was a bit of like, well, do we need a bird? Nah.
I don't know. The fact that bird folk is the main language kind of sounds like a bit of oppression. Just gonna put it up there.
I was just thinking that,
Chris. I think we're being oppressed.
At least they
Any name you want.
Yeah, talk about a role reversal. We said like quaint, wholesome, we wanted like wholesome fun. All right, so you're all
That's the revolution story, right? That's what I signed up for.
Tree cities to the ground, birds.
What does it say about all of us that we were like humble folk? Like nobody wants to be birds. We all want to be the like tiny ground dwelling humble folk.
We wanted to take ages if we decide to go somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. Asta needed a break. Yeah, I was going to say she's quite effectively birding in a world full of humans anyway. So, I give her a lot of credit. Cool. So I guess with that, we should like play the D&D.
Yeah.
Hey.
All right. So I think that the camera opens and we see a vast and sprawling forest stretching as far as the eye can see, east to west. On this thin peninsula extending out into the ocean that is the Sea of Fallen Stars. And as the kind of camera begins to zoom in on the map in front of us, I think we see off on the eastern edge the Dragonjaw Mountains, the city of Glarendar, the Obsidian Watchwall, the border between Thay and Aglaron. And the camera turns west, trailing over this length of forest near the entirety of the peninsula until we find ourselves west of Relcath's Foot and Nepha, where the trees kiss the sea and the mountains, for the humble folk that we might call hills, create rolling streams dropping down into the lowlands, bogs, marshes, and swamps. And I think as we pull in even tighter yet, we begin to see the clarity of the map in front of us. A smaller patch of forest with mountains in the northeast. A massive tree in the center of the wood with the name Alderheart over it. And winding roads and pathways that twist through the wood. And it's in the southwest that we direct our attention, on the Talongrip coast, just south of the Mock Fields, a swamp, a fen perhaps, where the small and eccentric city of Marshview can be found. It's far off the beaten path for the heart of this place called Humblewood by its inhabitants. It's out of the way of everything, and not the kind of town that a traveler just passes through, journeying from one place to another. The folk who live here are more removed from the comings and goings of the wood at large. They pay little mind to the governing choices made in Alderheart. Few ever travel to the College of Magic known as the Avium on the far eastern side of the wood. They make simple lives here in their simple town. A place that has much more life on the ground than many of the other bird folk cities here in the wood. And I think that as we take in this setting, many sort of low stone buildings set amongst the foot of these kind of sprawling trees that have bridges, and staircases, landings, and towers nestled amongst them. We see all manner of folk. There are Cervans who walk upright like we do with the tawny coats and the long muzzles of deer. We see a small, spiny hedge like the hedgehog playing in the street with a handful of the Jerbeen, the mousefolk. I think that we see a Mapach, a raccoon, tail striped, face masked, racing down one of the avenues. And amongst them are bird folk of all kinds. I think that there are gallus, and there are ravens. There are all manner of people here, and amidst the kind of celebration that's happening, for it's clear that there's some taste of excitement in the air. There are small piles of orange and green and mottled colored gourds. I think that we see baskets of root vegetables being carried by workers up winding staircases, streamers being hung in the streets, lanterns affixed to the overhanging walkways on these bridges, as today is the day of the fall festival, a time of celebration for all folk, as the food that has been sown and grown throughout the summer months is harvested and brought in to shelter the folk of the wood against the coming winter. But today is also a day of great celebration, for far in the past of the Humblewood, a group of heroes overcame a terrible foe, and they are remembered on this day as well. And I think that as the scene kind of like shifts, the camera sliding over these many peoples down the street, we see a house, a wooden place, many extensions kind of attached onto it. There's a bit of a tussle out in the back, it looks like, as 6, 8, a dozen? It's hard to say, of these small, long-tailed Jerbeen, these mousefolk as they were, are kind of scuffling and tussling when the door opens and we see one, perhaps a little scrappier than her siblings. Melissa, what do we see as the door opens?
Yeah, so the door like slams open, and so despite the like noise of the entrance, you're shocked to see this tiny little Jerbeen as she walks in, and Holly is the smallest and the youngest out of all of her siblings. She's got 20 or so, and she's got ears that are too big for her face. She's all brown except for a little bit on her paws and the tip of her very long tail. And she wears this very large, bright orange scarf that her nan knit for her, and a little like carpenter's tool belt where she's got all her tools, because mom and dad are local carpenters, which is why they're constantly adding additions to their home to make space for all of the many good tail children. And then they do carpentry work around town. And so I think she slams open the door and she's like, "Mom, Alder was beating me up again, but it's fine. I got him. Can I help?"
And I think that your mom kind of like steps into view. She's got an apron on. It's kind of like little red florets with this kind of white, like lacy frill around the edges. And she's got like a bit of like flour on her hands that she wipes quickly on the apron. And she's like, "Well, they're always picking on you, aren't they? But you know your way. I thought actually that you were going to head down to the inn today. They were supposed to have that payment for the work that you were doing over those last couple of weeks. Lady Lumel, she said that she'd have it by today, the day of the festival. I know that there's a good deal of folk coming in with dues owed to her.
Oh,
You should go pick that up."
sure. Yeah, I'll run out there and yeah, no, it's fine. You might want to check on Alder might have a broken arm, but it's fine. He'll deal. But otherwise, yeah, I'll go check.
Always something, isn't it?
Hey,
Alder!
he picked on me first. I just, I give him what for, but I don't start fights. I just finish them.
Yes, you certainly do, don't you, Holly? And I think that she's like, "Alder, get off of Birch. Bentley, let go of Bramwell. Bryony, Chloe, come on. I need help here with this bread. Consus, Coriander, you two, go fetch the water from the well." It never ends. Just head down to the inn and see if the lady has that coin for you.
Will do.
I know that she's feeling worse about it than you are. Ever since Oz headed out to head back to the Avium, well, she's had her hands full, especially with the festival coming. I can't believe that man leaving his wife like that, such a busy time of year.
Downright despicable. Should I take some bumbleberry pie? I know you've always got loads.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. Tell good Lady Lumel that I send my regards, and yes, just tell her I said thank you for everything.
Will do. Thanks, ma'am.
Basil, put down Cedar's toy. Clove, stop that. And I think that as we see Holly take this bumbleberry pie and start to like make her way out of the front door of her overfull house, the Goodtail home, the like camera pans down the street just a ways. And I think that we see a handful of these very tall, kind of regal-looking folk, especially compared to the scrappy mass that is the family of Goodtail Jerbeens. Aston, I think that we catch sight of you amongst some of the other Cervan here. What exactly do we see as you come into view?
So what you see is a human-sized deer. She looks more like reindeer, though, than sort of your typical, Bambi-style deer. She does have antlers. They're just not very big. They're only sort of, about this big. She is wearing what looks like sort of overalls over just a simple top, but she's wearing a clearly seasonal inspired autumn colored or fall colored apron. She's got some cooking utensils. She's got sort of what looks like a massive pot lid sort of slung over her back. And she's got just sort of some flowers and things at the base of her antlers.
And so I think that as we see you like standing here, and there's a couple of the other like Cervan that are here that make their home in Marshview, but I think that your mother Hazel, is that correct? Is here talking to you, and she's just like, well, it's going to be a very busy day for all of us. I would appreciate it if you could head down to the inn, the High Hearths, and speak to Lady Lumel. I know that she was asking for some of your help with the baking today, and she would greatly appreciate it.
Of course, of course. Do you know if Andy needs to come along as well?
Andy, your brother?
Yeah.
No. He's actually well, he's doing some work. He's won to enter the pie baking competition this year, and I believe he's actually got quite a magnificent recipe composed together.
Sure, he does. Yeah. Okay.
Blackberry and rhubarb. He's found a way to preserve the rhubarb, even this late in the summer. That really must be acknowledged. It's quite a thing.
But, okay. He knows my thoughts on his choice of pie fillings. Does Tasha need to come in to the city into the center of the town as well, or has she got other duties?
Tasha, your twin sister,
Indeed.
I think, is like standing here talking to the other servants, and I think that your mother Hazel like glances over to her and is like, oh, she's got plenty to do this afternoon. She and some of the others are going to help run the streamers down the avenue out towards Quilliam's house.
Oh, okay. Well, pistachio, have fun with that, I suppose. All right. I'll make my way towards the inn, and yeah.
Thank you so much, my
Oh,
dear.
of course.
You're always so excellent and helpful. I'm sure that the good Lady Lumel will deeply appreciate your assistance today.
It's what I do.
And I think that as we see you like heading your way down the street, Almond, I think that you would catch sight of Holly out in front of you walking along with her teeny bumbleberry pie.
No, it's like a regular sized pie, so it's very large.
Oh, it is a regular size pie. So you got it like I'm in front of you like a pizza. Yeah. It's so good. And I think that like as the camera kind of passes the two of you, maybe sort of falling in near one another as you head to the High Hearth Inn set up in the trees, owned by the Strigg couple, Lady Lumel and Master Oz. I think it's at this point that we would see Austin. Where do we see you? Where would we catch sight of you?
So I think you press into a small little cottage, sort of on the edge of town slightly. It's cluttered inside. There are bits of scrap and machinery all over the place. Pieces of wood, pieces of ceramics, cloth. It's just a mess of things within the home. But as you kind of press through, you can see that it's organized in its own crazy space. It's like a craft fair, but within a single room. But you press through that room into a small bedroom where you find Obi currently in his in his underclothes, having just sort of woken up, and is currently in the process of stretching, of sort of warming up, limbering up for the day. A very specific and careful routine, especially taking a lot of care with his leg, his left leg particularly. Stretching, rotating the ankle carefully, making sure it moves gingerly. Then the other one. Then the arms, rolling the shoulder blades, stretching forward, stretching back. You then see him slowly begin preparing, putting his clothes on, his very simple pale shirt, his coat, which is collarless but hangs, sort of has a large sort of sweeping V that gathers at the waist, tied with a tassel. He carefully situates it, puts on his boots, combs his fur, and gathering it either side into this very careful little point at the edge. As you see, he is a Mapach, a racoonfolk. His mask patterning, his fur, is slightly furrowed at his brow, kind of giving him a little bit of a resting serious face, even as he sort of smiles as he gets himself ready. And then he begins loading up his pack with his bits and pieces, a small a device that is sort of hexagonal in shape, looks like it has some bellows attached to it. He kind of packs it in there. He takes this small little shield and sort of hitches it onto his waist, this short blade that he slots into his other waist. And as he sort of opens up the door and looks around, Mother, are you there?
I think you hear a voice from behind one of the closed doors, it's so early, hon. What is it?
Well, it's the morning of the festival. You said you needed help taking your scrounge work to the fair? Do we need to take it now, or do you want to wait later?
All right. Do you think that you could run it to the high hearth? Lady Lumel certainly would be able to hold on to it. Somebody can come pick it up then.
That's fair. Yes, I can carry some stuff forward. Which piece did you want? Did you want the instruments, or did you want the? What were you wanting to show off today?
I think we hear as the door creaks open a little bit, and we see this bleary-eyed Mapach woman, clearly older, a little more gray in her mask than we see on you, Austin, and she's kind of squinting a little bit. The room behind her dark, I think, very dark, right? And she's just oh, it's so early. These festival days. Yes, that one, and that one. If you could just bundle those two up, I'll get the rest in the afternoon. But bring them to Lady Lumel's at the High Hearth, and she'll be able to take care of the rest of it for me.
Of course. Mother, get some rest. You've been working all night for this. These are going to be great.
I have. Are you feeling all right? How is your leg?
It's better. It's better than it certainly has been, a few months ago. I'm feeling limber. I'm feeling like I could leap, Mother.
Oh, you look so good, my son. I think she steps out of the room for a minute and places a hand on your furry cheek, and she's I miss your sister. I wish she could be here today. Thank you for bringing this down. I'm just going to catch a few more hours before I have to get up. What kind of festival starts before noon, anyway?
You say that every year, Mother.
I know. You're a good boy.
I'll get this carted over to Lady Lumel, and you get some rest, and we'll see you later.
Of course we will. Of course. And so I think that as we see you gathering up your stuff, Obi, your mother's wares, the scene kind of fades out. And I think that we come back into focus in front of a small cottage outside of town. What exactly does this cottage look like, Aiden?
It's nestled in the roots of quite a large tree. It's very, very small, a little bit disheveled. It doesn't look the prettiest, but it's sturdy. The roots are strong in this house. It looks like it's been well maintained for many, many, many decades, but not particularly ever lavishly decorated. Outside of the cottage is the most important bit. You see, very strange for this kind of part of the wood, very leveled ground, very interestingly flat farmland. It looks to be almost ploughed, but not in a way that most of the humble folk would have ever seen before. This kind of garden is separated into 6 different patches, each growing various different kinds of vegetable and plant and interesting little things.
And so, as the door opens and a figure emerges, what do they look like?
The first thing they'd see coming out the door is a nose that just kind of twitches in 2 separate directions, before followed by 2 very bright but beady eyes, which are covered with makeshift spectacles that have a little bit of a chip in one of them. And following and shuffling outside is Quilliam Softpaw. He is just about 2'5", 2'6" on a good day if he decides to strand up. A hedge, but he is a hedge who is very much in his latter years. He slowly walks, putting a staff in front of him, but he walks with a sure step. He's not hobbling, he's just going at his own pace. He's occasionally whispering into something into his quills, or just looking around and sniffing, and generally enjoying being outside. The first thing he does is go over and tend to his garden, make sure his crops are looking well, occasionally whispering something into the soil, and just ready to go about his day and whatever the joys of the day bring him.
Excellent. So I think as we see Quilliam making his way out into the garden, whispering to the earth, as though he's coaxing the seeds to grow, perhaps. I think that the camera pans around this magnificent garden. And Grace, where does it land?
Did Quilliam, your house is your house is nestled in the bottom of a tree? Is that right?
Yeah, just kind of tucked in the roots.
Okay, well I think then it pans into the tree, I think.
Yeah, of course it does.
And what you'd see is this another Mapach, maybe one that's a little bit smaller, before a little bit rougher around the edge. I think there's dirt, even for a Mapach looks dirty, which is impressive. Has some dirt in her and mud sort of caked in her fur. And she's sort of sitting in the tree, sort of watching what's happening, and has this I think this net in her hand that looks to be have just been sort of created. It looks pretty rough, and I think she's trying to use the net to scoop down from the tree some of the vegetables that might have been already harvested from Quilliam's farm. And this is Odella Honorel. Or Odella. Yeah.
Honorel. Odella, I think that it's time for the first roll of the campaign. Dare I have you make a stealth check as you're trying to scoop up vegetables with your net from a tree?
15.
Quilliam, what's your passive perception, good sir?
Pretty high, I think. 16.
I think so too.
It's 16.
Oh.
Quilliam,
Perfect.
as you're moving around, kind of whispering down to the earth, you see from the corner of your eye, I feel like this is a thing you've seen before, a pole slowly emerging down out of the tree branch next to your house.
Odella's focusing, tongue out, really focusing on it. Got it.
Oh heavens! Oh Odella,
Odella drops the net. Everything falls out of the net. Yeah.
I pretend I didn't see you. But if you are after some, how do you say it, a booty or swag or treasures, your usual stash has been left by the top field, darling. You don't have to always steal from the same spot. You know, sometimes there might be a little bucket of food out there for you. But that's only if you're there. I don't want to pretend I saw you.
Still, it's been so long since I've been back. You still leave a little pile for me, William?
Oh, if I swear I don't hear anything, but if I did, I would respond to it saying, yes, I do.
Yeah. Of course, I think Odella starts to like slowly climb down the tree, like a little embarrassed, her head kind of down.
William's just kind of turning he knows exactly where she is. He's just kind of turning his back, just making it clear, oh, I don't see you.
Yeah. Odella, can I have you make a perception check as you're shimmying down the tree?
6.
Okay. I think that as you get down to like the base of the tree, and Quilliam is kind of like examining his what's happening here in his little patch of vegetables, I think that the pair of you hear a voice just like, what are we doing down here anyway? I don't know. Corn sent us. He says this old one's got something that we want. The gourds are good enough, though. And I think that, like, the camera pitches up, and there's kind of like a staircase of stone that drops down off the hill into this kind of flat area that Quilliam has established where he has planted his many gardens. And I think that the camera, like, taking in the stairs, we see 2 figures coming down. The pair of them, one has these kind of black feathers and this glimmering yellow beak with this sort of orangey comb of a rooster's mane up over his head. He wears a leather jerkin, and there's a kind of like knotted club hanging off of his belt, and walking at his side a much larger brown feathered Gallus as well, the Gallus being sort of the rooster folk, as it were. His comb flopped over, covering one of his eyes, and we could see he's got a crack in his beak, but he's holding one of Quilliam's gourds, the very gourd that was left in a small pail for you, Odella, as he's like, his beak like inside of it, digging out the guts of it. And I think he just kind of casually like throws it over his shoulder like so much trash as these 2 Gallus approach. And I think that they like seeing you, Quilliam, the pair of them kind of like pause. And the black feathered one just sort of calls out to you, "Hey there! Old man!"
Oh, yeah, so you're talking to me?
Aye. You're the only old man, aren't you?
Well,
Are you an old man?
I'm an old hedge.
Aye. Whatever you are, you dirt-digging slug. We're going to need your baskets.
Well, what could possibly need my baskets for?
So we could take your food.
Well, there's plenty of food to go around if you are hungry. Please, come in. I will make a stew.
You have anything good in that house?
Well, I suppose it depends what you mean by good.
Yeah, we'll take that too. And I think that the brown feathered one like comes striding up and sort of like flops his flop of hair over to the other side like, those gourds were good. If he has anything in there, we might as well have a look of it. What kind of stew?
Oh, well, it's a simple one of vegetables. I make it with potatoes and carrots as well. I'm sorry, sir. Could I get your name?
I think that the one, like the black feathered one, that's kind of like still standing outside, he crosses his arms over the leather jerkin at his chest, kind of like eyeing you a little bit. And yeah, I think that he's like, my name is Evan. That there is Danny.
Well, Evan, it's lovely to meet you. I'm Quilliam. Yes, this is my home, and you are welcome here. But I must insist, if you are to rummage around, that I go with you, if you don't mind. And I mean, even an old hedge like me needs his privacy.
At this point, Danny is already in your house. He has like pushed himself up onto like this small kind of step and like just boldly stood into the house. And he's like, "The stew smells good, Evan." And you hear like the clattering of like the ladle in the pot. Yep.
Oh yes. Please help yourself to a bowl. There is always food in this house, I assure you. Evan, far be it from me to complain about company, but how long can I be expecting the pleasure of your visit to last?
Just as long as it takes for you to go get your bushel basket so we can fill up the food and make our way out of here. Now hop to it, dirt digger.
I Well, I'm afraid I can't. I cannot do that. I am an old hedge. I cannot do it all by myself. Maybe a strong fellow such as yourself would help me, and we could get it done quicker.
Aye, let's go have a walk then, old fella. And I think they like he looks at you at this point, Odell.
Yeah, I think Odella's trying to try to hiding or like be as little as possible, basically in this moment. Like she might have been noticed before, but I think at this moment, like sort of steps forward and is like to Quilliam, like, I can go get them. I can get them. It's no problem.
Oh, well, thank you, dear Odella. I don't want you to get involved in all of this. I'm sure these two gentlemen will be leaving shortly.
It's at this point that Danny like steps back out the front door, and he's got kind of one of your crockeries, his beak like down in the bowl, like kind of eating out of it, and he's like, "Stew's good, old man." And just drops it for the bowl to like smash. Stew like splatters in the doorway, and like he turns looking at you, Odella, like, "Let's go get those baskets."
I think Odell will like look to Quilliam for like, do you want me to go get the baskets, or?
Well, yes. If you could, I suppose. I think the quicker we get this done, the quicker things could get back to normal.
Yeah, I think Odell like whispers like, "I can make you new baskets," and then like heads off to go get some of these baskets.
Okay. I think that the roosters kind of like follow you, the pair of them, these gallus, to get the baskets, and we see them like yank them out of your hands. And I think Evan is just like, "You just stay out of our way, Ringtail. We'll be out of his hair soon enough." And the pair of them then proceed to like start like stomping through Quilliam's garden, taking vegetables.
Okay. Quilliam will lean over to Odella and just go, "Oh, don't worry too much, child. Nature sometimes has a way of dealing with these pedants." And he shall quietly, under his breath, cast Spike Growth to hit a 20 foot circlet on in the field that they are in. When they're
sees him indeed.
So invisible spikes, but the good thing about I'll chuck it in the chat. But yeah, that's what he's going to do.
Holy mackerel! You said 20-foot radius or just a 20-foot cube?
20-foot radius.
Oh my word!
Druids are cool, Rich.
Yeah.
I know, they're my favorite.
Mine too.
Unless we're talking about wizards.
Fellas, one thing to say. You see, the land around here can be very, very fickle. If you don't treat her right, sometimes she can bite you. Don't know where that accent went for a second.
At this point, that, Nora, that like we see like vines and spikes begin to like surge up out of the soil. These pair of like gallus suddenly like having to like deal with these things as they come like tangling up, wrapping around their legs. The area becomes difficult terrain when a creature moves into the area. It takes 2d4 piercing damage for every 5 feet it travels. I think that like the pair of them like turn, glowering at you, and kind of freeze for a minute. My word, this is brutal. You want to roll 2d4 for that first moment as they're kind of like, yeah.
Yes, but as I do that, I'll point in a direction goes like, I advise you to leave now. So that's...
5 points of piercing damage.
Are you going to do it on the other one as well?
Yeah, I'm going to just take both. Take that for both of them, if that works.
Sure.
So we see them like, ah! Ugh! You filthy dirt digging. And I think that one of them, he like proceeds to like throw the whole basket to the floor. It like breaks, cords rolling out amongst the spikes. And I think that Danny looks to Evan, like flopping the comb back over to the other side of his face, and is like, this dirt digging little fool just sealed his fate. Forget about these cords. We don't need them. Let's get back to Hen. Got busier things to do today anyway. And I think that with that, the pair of them turn kind of like glowering at you, and they each kind of like leap their arms, which have kind of feathers projecting off of them. Not quite wings, though nearly. Sort of like flapping wildly and stupidly as they sort of like are each able to like jump just far enough, I think, to get themselves out of the edge. It's their horizontal jumping distance is equal to their strength scores. They could pull it off. And I think that with that, the pair of them glowering back at you two, they scurry back up the steps, making their way from Marshview. And I think, Quilliam, despite your age, your keen ears... Do hedgehogs have ears? Yeah, of course they do. They have little flappy ears.
Yes, gorgeous. Cute, very cute little ears.
You would think I didn't own a hedgehog named Bruner Battlehammer for many years. How dare I? And so I think that the little ears, like, twitching just ever so. I think you hear Evan whispering to Danny, like, this podunk town has no idea what's coming for him. I think that the other one's like, aye, Rollins will have everything worth anything by the time that night falls. Let's hurry up. Taking too long anyway. And with that, the pair of them kind of scurry out of sight.
Once they're like basically gone, like they're way too far, like Odella picks up like the gourd that's on the ground, like pretends to throw it and like, and stay out. But they're already gone. They're like, this is like, there's no threat of danger by doing that. Yeah.
I think you scared them away. Well done.
Thanks.
I don't know what I would have done if you weren't here, Odella, but I fear we might be in a little bit of bother. Did you happen to hear what they were talking about?
No.
How long has it been since you've been back in town?
Just a couple of days. And I haven't really been in town.
Well, I think we need to go and start warning some people. I don't think that those two are going to operate alone. Do you think that you can accompany this old Hedge to the village?
Yeah, sure. We can head there. Yeah.
And so with that, we see Quilliam and Odella begin to follow after these pair of really jerky rooster bros.
Are they juking along? They're still juking.
Yeah, exactly. I'll juke you, hedgehog! And then so... I think with that, the scene like fades out again, and we probably would open back up on Holly and Almond as the pair of you are making your way to the inn. The place is called the High Hearth, so named because it's up in the trees, and there's a lovely hearth. It is the only inn in Marshview. A town out off the beaten path. It is not a place that sees many travelers. It is a rarity, in fact, that a stranger comes to call. And while the folk of the town are pretty private and quiet compared to some of the more metropolitan perch cities of the Humblewood, they're kind enough. But the High Hearth Inn and Tap is owned and run by a pair of strigs, owl folk, as they were. And so you would know, of course, Lady Lumel, you see her like moving about on kind of the porch of the inn. There's a great number of chairs kind of arrayed about it, and as the pair of you are beginning to like come up to the stairs, we can see lanterns all over the place. Marshview is a city well acclimated for the more nocturnal denizens of the Humblewood, of which many are, especially the humble folk compared to the bird folk. And yeah, I think you see Lady Lumo moving around on the front porch. She has the visage of a barn owl, that kind of perfectly smooth, almost plate of a white face, this lovely sort of very subtle, regal little beak, and her eyes like keen and sharp despite her advanced years. But so yeah, Holly and Almond, the pair of you like run into each other kind of like, you're coming up on one another at the base of the stairs.
I think they run into each other quite literally because Holly is carrying a very large pie and she can't see.
Oh no!
And so I think she kind of like narrowly avoids. Oh, so sorry, Miss Ullman. I it's just I got Mom's big pie and I got to take it to Miss Lumo. But how are you doing?
Oh, Holly, hello. And Almond's kind of like trying to also catch the pie so that it doesn't hit the ground, because that would be devastating.
Is there a dexterity check involved here,
Yeah.
Melissa? I don't want to like sacrifice your pie.
No. Do it. What do you want?
I think it's a dexterity check. I just think it's a straight dex check. And as Almond's trying to help, maybe, I don't know if you get... I think Almond, why don't you make a second dexterity check?
Okay.
As you see the pie, like, top ends, Holly's, like, clearly, like, losing it as she, like, looked at you and kind of lost focus for a minute.
Okay.
And I think that just like that, we watch in slow motion while the bumbleberry pie cartwheels for the stairs.
Oh, no.
The slow explosion of berries and pastry all over the foot of the staircase. I think just in time for you, Obi, to catch sight of as you come around the corner and you see Almond and Holly at the foot of the stairs, Lady Lumo peering over the porch down at you as this bumbleberry pie just explodes on the stairwell.
We have our first casualty of the campaign, everybody.
Yep.
I think you see Obi sort of wiping some of the splatter from these like little goggles that he put on before leaving the house to help like dim the light a little bit for his Mapach eyes, an invention of his mother's. But he kind of like wipes it, kind of little squeegees.
His little blackbird fingers, yeah.
I'm so sorry. Oh no. Oh, Mom's gonna be so mad. Oh, shoot. Sugarfoot.
On the plus side, it was a very good pie.
Oh, was that one of your mother's? Oh no.
Mom's pies are always, top notch. But I'm so sorry, Miss Almond. Are you okay? Do you have pie everywhere?
I'm all right.
Oh, it's so cute. I think that you hear like the voice call over. It's like the three of you maybe like look up the like winding staircase wrapping around the trunk of this tall kind of cypress tree standing on the edge of the marsh, and we see Lady Lumo, her like smooth kind of white feathered face leaning over the top, and she's like, whatever are the lot of you doing down there? Oh, is that pie all over the stairs? Well, all right. I suppose you've picked the day for it. You might as well all head up.
Sorry.
It's no problem, of course.
Almond's already trying to sort of clean up the mess as best she can.
I
I
think
think like Lumo is calling down to you. Oh, don't make too much trouble of it, love. I'll send down one of the boys with a mop and bucket.
it's all right. It's all right,
All
Lady
right.
Lumo. I've got it. And Obi takes a moment as the others sort of stand up, and he takes this small little leaf from one of his little pockets in his trousers. He kind of rubs it between his hands and like blows very gently on it for a second. This kind of and this very faint little sound, this kind of like a buzzing sound, kind of emanates off the leaf. And then he, with one swift movement, just wipes the leaf across the spilled pie, and it vanishes, cleaned and completely cleared. He brushes the leaf between his fingers, kind of giving it a quick little wash, and tucks it back away.
I think that I'm still like peering down over the top porch. Lady Luma was like, "My word, Master Obi, you have grown quite talented in your time away."
It's a small little trick I picked up when we were passing through the avium with the troop a few years back. It's come in handy many times.
Thanks, Mr. Obi.
Dear Father Oz. Oh, I'm sorry, what?
I said thanks, Mr. Obi.
All good.
I think she...
Coriander?
Oh, no, I could see how you get confused. I've got the white doesn't go all the way down the tail. That's how you tell the difference. It's just at the little I'm Holly. Coriander's, she's got, also she's not as cute as I am, but that's, it's fine.
Oh, I didn't realize you had a sibling called Coriander as well.
Yeah.
I should make sure they and Andy meet. That would be funny.
Yeah, we got coriander, we got cauliflower, we got, there's a whole bunch of Anders over at the Goodtail place.
How many siblings have you got now?
Oh, like 32, I think.
Oh, okay.
Too many.
Too many? My golly, mister.
Well, it's a lot to keep track of.
Right, but if they'd stopped earlier, then I wouldn't be here. So, they had to keep going until they got good old Holly.
Well, that's a good point. I didn't really think that side of it through, but good on you.
For existing, yes, good on me.
All right. I can't have the lot of you down there all day. Come on up already. I've got an old woman bending her back over. I can't make her... Ooh. I think you hear her like making all manner of kind of like noises from up top as she kind of like vanishes out of view, leaning back. So the three of you want to make your way up into the inn?
Making our way.
Downtown.
I was hoping somebody got in there.
Grace told me I don't sing enough anymore on the stream, so now it's like Pavlovian. With that, I think the three of you make your way up, and Lady Lumal is like standing for you up here. She like opens the door, inviting you in. The High Hearth is a small place. It's not an inn that takes many guests. Lumal is the wife of a fellow named Oz, whom you know to be the local wizard, as it were. Recently away, as he had to attend a conference at the Avium and was called away quite at the last minute. And so I think as the three of you make your way in, she's like, "Oh, well, I suppose there's plenty of time for a new pie. Almond, thank you so much for making the trip down here. Oh, Master Obi, yes, your mother does do the finest of works. Here, I'll take those. I'll take those for you. I'll be sure to put them just aside."
She's very proud of them. She's worked for the last several weeks on them. New inventions, she says.
She's quite a remarkable Mapach, I'll be honest with you. Of course, Father Oz has always thought highly of her. I wish that she would receive a bit more recognition here in town. Nonetheless, I'm glad to display these here for her today while the festival is afoot. Are you all excited?
As always. When am I never excited for a festival?
It is such a rejoicement. It's always such a lovely time of year. As good as it gets in Marshfrew, I've always said. I think that, so, like, she's, like, taking the things from your mom and, like, has gone and, like, put them down at a table. And she then, like, picks up, like, a kind of piece of parchment off of it and is, like, eyeing it. I think we see her, like, reach down. She's got on, like, this sort of, like, bluish, like, dress, right? And she, like, reaches down and takes these spectacles that are hanging on, like, the cuff and slips them on to, like, her tiny beak is glancing down, like, "Oh... right,
Quilliam was supposed to be here with some of the ingredients. Nonetheless, I might have forgotten to send word. It's just so much to do and keep track of since everything. I think as you guys are like taking in the scene around you, there's like a big stone hearth. It's got a small fire burning in it. There's a series of like old kind of rustic tables. I think that what we're seeing amidst this place are like large chairs scaled for servants next to much smaller chairs that have ridiculously high legs and almost little steps leading up to them so that the tiny Jerbeen can sit at an equal level at the equal tables, right? I think that as like the Dutch door behind you to the outside porch is closed, I think we hear like and we see like a little panel open, like a smaller door inside the door as a Jerbeen comes like darting in and is like
Miss Lumel, I was supposed to come down here and tell you that, the perch guard said that they're going to be making their way here and they're going to need a couple of rooms. There's a few of them that have been coming out from Saltersport and I just needed to...
And I think that Lumel is like, all right. Is this one of yours?
she looks at Holly. It's not one of your siblings, but she's like,
there's a lot of us, but I don't, not, there's others too.
All right. Well, listen, settle down here, young one. What is it that you need?
and they start like having a conversation for a minute. And I think that she sort of like haphazardly like looks over to you like,
I do appreciate it, Master Odie. If you would tell your mother that, I've got the wares here. I'll be certain to do my best to see them sold at a good price for her for today. Perhaps if it's not too much trouble to bother you. Oh, wait, Holly, I almost forgot.
I think she takes out like a small bag of coin and like hands it over to you.
She's like, the work was really quite excellent. The extension in the kitchen, it's really magnificent. I so much love having a landing back there with stairs to make my way out. It's much easier to dispose of the waste after cooking. Make sure you send that to your mother. Almond, I hate to be a pest here, but do you think there's any way perhaps I could send you out to Quilliam's to see if he has any extra acorn squash?
Of course. I go visit Quilliam quite often, so I know the way to go. Nice and quick and easy. I can do that for you.
Of course. Excellent. You lad, here, come in the back. Let me jot down what the rest of you have to say.
And I think that she's like making her way back into the kitchen like,
I hope the lot of you have a magnificent day. Almond, I'll see you in a bit.
Of course.
We certainly will, Lady Lumel. You owe me a
Miss
dance
Lumel.
later.
ooh, you. I think that she would blush if feathers had pigment. I don't know.
They like ruffle a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a woo. And I think that she like makes her way like back stepping into the kitchen. And you hear the little Jerbeen like pestering her, like,
Lady Lumel, it was incredible. There were 4 whole perch guard, and they've got shining, gleaming armor, and they have plumes in their helmets, and they have swords. Can't you even believe it? Swords!
and she's like, yes. As a lot of you are like out here in the common room. So yeah, the three of you are here together for a minute. I don't know if what happens here.
We should go get that almond, whatever. Almond. Right? From
Acorn squash.
The cooking isn't really my specialty. I've never been very good with that.
If you really need to differentiate, you can call me Almondine, but I go by Almond. But if
Well,
you
then
just don't
almond's what
want
I'll
to have,
call you.
but if you just don't want to have it mixed up with food, you can make it a little easier for yourself.
Everyone in this town is named after food.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to avoid in a lot of ways.
Or plants. There's a lot of
Or
plants.
plants. It's a lot of things.
Flowers.
Like that.
Flowers are kind of plants. Yeah.
I feel like I'm putting my foot in it a lot today.
Speaking of, how is your foot? Your leg?
The ankle. It's
the
better.
ankles.
It's better than it was. It's better than it was. But I'm going to test it out today at the festival. You know, there'll be dancing, there'll be fun, and hopefully it will hold up well. I probably can't
I think that as
spring as high as you, Holly, but I'll do my best.
But that would be hard. Are you doing your routine?
I won't be a part of the main performances, but hopefully I can still be some of the social dancing, the group dances afterwards. Maybe I can jump in. Hopefully the ankle will hold up for that.
I think that the three of you are having this conversation as you're kind of winding down the staircases, the sort of lanterns hanging on the poles, sort of just gently moving in the breeze. The town is alive and vibrant with life. There's the chatter of hedges and Mapach and Cervans all about. There are bird folk like moving through the perches. And I think that it's just as you come around the like circular base of the staircase that drops down around the trunk of this tree that you would spot Quilliam and Odella making their way down kind of the main street here in the village, just sort of like approaching as the high hearth inn and tap room is of course set on the edge of town out near where a traveler might first find it upon arrival. And so Quilliam and Odella, as the pair of you are walking up, you see these three. Quilliam, of course, you know everybody. You've been here for quite a time, but yeah.
We see them. The three of them?
Yeah.
Oh, Della would like try to like slink back a little bit and be like behind Quilliam in hopes that she's not quite noticed.
How tall is Quilliam and how tall is Odella? Can we do that thing? I'm
just over 4 feet, I think.
Quilliam's like under 3.
So then slouch down as well. Like backs up and then slouches down.
I think we see like the raccoon ears, you know what I mean, perking up over the like Quilliam's sort of spines and the tail like flushing on the side.
I think, and we know we're going to the. Oh, you go ahead. Yeah.
Be very careful back there, dear. If you give me a shock, you might get pricked.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Just keep walking, maybe. Just
okay, I'll make myself big.
Yeah.
Quilliam.
That's great.
I think we're being inconspicuous.
This is good.
Hello, Quilliam.
Hi, Mr. Quilliam.
And dearie, good to see you. Holly, hello. How are all the siblings? Cinnamon and cauliflower and cumin.
Oh, that's good. There's, like 46 of us, so it's hard to keep track of how everyone's doing. But most are good.
And hello, sir. We don't talk very often. My name is Quilliam. I'm hiding nothing.
Not at all. Clearly not. Why would you be hiding anything?
Well, that's what I said, yes.
Well, that's true.
Anyway, I should get to the inn. And Quilliam just kind of saddles around, just waiting for a prompt on what to do.
Trying to like whatever he's moving to be out of line of sight. Yeah.
Yes, Lady Lumal asked us to come find you to get some of your acorn squash.
Oh,
right? Acorn squash.
Yes. Oh, I knew that I had forgotten something. In all of the confusion earlier today, I must have forgotten it. But, well, it's okay. Hold on. And Quilliam will just kind of reach into his kind of quills just back and start whispering something. It was like, no, it was on the counter. Next to that. Okay, well, go tell him to bring it. And then you'll just see this little gnat just going bzz, 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 flying off back in the direction he came. Don't worry, dearie. A friend of mine will come along and drop off the required ingredients soon.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful.
I think sort of knowing at this point that is not doing a great job of. Odella's pretty good at hiding and knows that this is not a great job of hiding. We'll like peek out and be like, "Hi, Obi."
Odella, where did you come from?
Ode, what are you doing here?
Just came for the festival.
I thought you... Every time I've seen you in Salters, you've been saying you've been too busy for the festival. I never thought you'd come home for it.
Yeah. Just felt maybe like this year I should come. So I did. I knew you'd be here. So,
Well, that's no surprise.
Yeah, I know. You write a lot of letters. Yeah.
It's very true. I'm quite proficient.
Yeah. They're nice. They're nice. They're good. I definitely read like everything you write. Yeah. So yeah, I thought I'd come home. Although I thought maybe I would just, stay at Quilliam's farm or something. But
And that's why you're hiding behind the hedge.
yeah. And she like takes a full step out, so she's no longer like behind Quilliam.
You
look
mustn't
good.
sneak up on people like that. William will awkwardly stand in the corner.
Yeah, I'll note that
You look
Odell
well.
does not look good or well. He looks like very dirty, and like haphazard clothes. But you too. It's good to see you.
It's good to see you.
Well, this is all very lovely, but I really must go and have a word with Lady Luna. Odella, do you understand now why this might be a good idea to warn them? I mean, those Gallus didn't seem like they were very friendly.
Definitely not.
Gallus?
I think it's...
Oh my, yes. I believe a very large gang of them are coming to waylace to the town. That's why I'm here.
Well, that doesn't sound good.
Probably should have led with that.
that. Oh, well, yes, but
I
all
think
things in
it's-
its time.
Right at this point that we hear "Woo!" a cry of dismay. Did that sound like a cry of dismay? I practiced
Yeah.
that one for a while. You hear a cry of dismay.
Is it
Dismay.
which May though?
Is it
Dismay
one
or
that you show?
Dad May?
Dismay,
Dismay?
not that May.
Not
that
Dismay.
May.
It's dismay. It's dismay, not next May. Dismay. And so I think you hear this cry of dismay coming from up at the inn, and your eyes like turn, darting back up, and I think you see the face of the little Jerbeen boy like peek his head through the kind of banister railings above, and he's peering down, and he's like,
Miss Holly, we need help up here. There's some real trouble. Oh my gosh.
and it's just as this is happening that you see 1, 2, 3 shapes gliding through the air. There's not 1, 2, but 3 Gallus. All of them like some manner of angry poultry leaping off of the front porch of the high hearth inn and tap room, wings extended. And as we all know, bird folk cannot fly, but for the folks who don't know, bird folk can in fact glide great distances. They're able to kind of like leap off of these high trees, which they climb very easily with their sharp talons, and they can use their arms like wings to glide, though they can't propel themselves on their own. And I think you see these 3 Gallus like sailing out over the town, descending as they go, like coasting over the tops of buildings and weaving under bridges until they're lost out of sight. But I think you hear the cry before you lose sight of them.
Dawn calls for you all.
Well, that was both intimidating and hilarious at the same time.
Dawn callers. Always think they're the funniest cocks around.
I do hate dawn. It gets bright.
Oh, not the dawn callers again. I thought we dealt with those.
Rich, did the little Jerbeen say that Miss Lumel was in trouble?
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
He's like was yelling down to you,
Miss Holly, we need
Holly's
help.
racing up the stairs.
Yep.
Holly's gone. Yeah. I think the
She's
4 of
used to
you,
racing
your eyes-
all 57 of her siblings, so she's very fast.
Yeah, it's hard when you have to raise 53 siblings all
I
at
can't
once.
wait to
And
see
so
how
I
high
think-
this number is going to get.
I think that
I don't think there's
as,
gonna
like,
be
the
a cap.
4 of you.
There's a cap,
four
and
of
it's
you,
the
you're-
number of names I already have in my character sheet.
It's a lot of names, you guys. It's a lot of names. I was so impressed, Melissa. I logged on to look at your sheets, like, whoa, whoa.
It is a
whoa.
triple-digit number.
Wow.
Whoa.
The limit does not exist.
We have our
Oh my
goals,
God.
people. We know one thing. Reach the end of that list.
I think that, like, as the 4 of you, your eyes kind of trailing after the Dawn Callers, these Gallus bandits that have clearly hassled Lady Lumel here at the end. You, like, turn looking back, and all you see is, like, the last bit of, like, Holly's tail kind of zooming up the stairs above you as she's already gone racing up. So I think that the camera cuts to behind you, Holly, as you come, like, darting back out onto the porch. You race up to the door, throwing open the tiny door inside the small door, inside the larger door, and the Jerbeen boy leaping after you. It is like,
They came in, Miss Holly, and they said that she needed to give up the goods, and she didn't know what the goods were. But then they started yelling about how they needed the staff. They wanted the staff horse's old staff, and then they knocked her over, and they broke a bunch of stuff in the kitchen.
and like at this point, he's just like chasing after you. It's very much like when you're having to deal with your 73 siblings at home. And as you like dart back into the kitchen, I think you see Lady Lumel. She's like on her back, sort of trying to like pull herself up on the counter, though it looks like she's taken a bit of a bad spill. There's a giant pot of soup that's been like kind of spilled all over the floor. You can see that like the place looks like a little bit like torn and ransacked. And she just looks over to you like,
Oh my! Oh, did you see them? Are they gone?
Yeah, they made quite the exit. They seem like jerks. Here, let me help you up.
Oh, thank you, my girl. Oh.
and I think like tears kind of like welling up in this like owl's eyes as you help like pull her to her feet. It's quite a bit of a scene. She's much heavier than you are, you know. And so I
I
think
am
it's
very
like you
strong.
and the other little Jerbeen. You are very strong. I think the other little Jerbeen's like,
Don't worry, Miss Holly, I'll give you a hand.
and you're like, as you're like leverage, like you like pull this massive owl back up to her feet, and she's holding like her arm to her side a little bit, like
I can't quite take a spill like I did in my youth.
Should I get Miss
Oh.
Omen? Do you need help?
Perhaps we have to see though. Hurry out to the common room.
And so she's like making her way back to the common room as like you kind of turn and follow with the other mouse. And I think it's just at this point that the 4 of you have made your way up to the stairs, and you see Lady Lumel, her arm held to her side, kind of favoring one hip a little bit, and she steps out into the common room. And very quickly when you get up there, I think that Obi, you recognize that like where your mom's kind of trinkets and inventions had been like placed are gone. You see like a couple of chairs are knocked over. There's a table pushed over. But perhaps even more importantly, above the bar to the high hearth in and tap, there was always sort of a placard, almost a long like length of old mahogany wood that has these hooks that had been set into it. And it's a staple of the place that anytime you come here, there was a staff, a gnarled and kind of twisted black walnut staff. And you would know from the words of Old Man Oz, the village's wizard, who owns and operates this place alongside his lovely wife, the Lady Lumel, that Titan's staff, as it's called, is named after the Amaranth. The Amaranth being the gods of the Humblefolk, and Titan being one of the gods of death, the night, the grave. Not in a dark way, but in the way that all things must face this challenge sometime. And I think she like looks up and is like,
Oh, by the amaranth themselves, they got it. This is deeply concerning. I told him he should have taken it back with him to the avium. It had no business hanging here, but he just couldn't part with it.
Lady Lumel, the Nightfather's staff, the Titan staff, has been in this tavern for years, since I was a cub. It's part of this place, part of this town.
I should have known better. After you left, they had come up the back stairs. They were waiting for me in the kitchen. I told Oz to take it with him when he went to the avium. He never wanted to part with it. Certainly you remember the stories when he was a younger Strigg. He traveled the wood with his friends. The brave companions, they called themselves. Like they were the very friends of Begita who felled the necromancer all those years ago. They thought they might be something more. This is very bad.
Then we'll do our best.
We'll
do our best to make it good.
Are you all right? Did they hurt you? Did they hurt anyone else?
They just flew off into the distance. Did their fly away, their little song.
It was quite
Break the
theatrical.
dawn.
Bunch
Not
of
really.
cowardly chickens, if you ask me.
Yeah, and the sun was already up, so like, I don't know why they needed to crow like that.
It's very on the
sense
nose.
of timing really needs a bit of work.
Yeah.
I
Can I-
agree.
Can I help you at all, Lady Lumel?
Oh, I don't want to ask too much. You do so much for everyone, Almond. You're such a vital part of the community. I don't want to ask too much. I'm sure I'll be fine.
No.
It's clear, like, she's a bit hurt. Yeah.
I don't really want to use a spell slot like straight away.
You don't probably have to. Are you proficient in medicine?
Yes,
you want to
I
just
am.
do a medicine check and try to just like kind of bandage her up. You can see one of her hands looks like it's got a little bit of a burn on it from the thing. You're able to kind of like see her down. Why don't you go ahead and make a medicine check?
All right, let's see if this works.
Pretty good.
20. Dirty 20.
Oh heck yeah. I don't know what kind of stuff you have, but I think you're able to like bandage her hand up, and you check and you're like, okay, her hip isn't broken or anything like that. She's got a pretty good bruise on her elbow, but you know that like with time and rest, she'll be just fine. It could have been much worse, you know.
Like the
Yeah. Here you
strength of
go,
the elbows.
dear. So bandage it up.
I'm sorry, Lady Luna, but can you think of a reason why those Gallus would want that staff?
Oh,
She's like looking carefully at you, Quilliam, as kind of Almond finished bandaging her hand, and she just looks up to you, like patting you on the shoulder, Almond, like,
thank you, my dear. Thank you.
and she like kind of looks, her eyes pausing on each of you in turn. Tiny Holly, long away Odella, Obi, back to Almond and Quilliam, and she says,
Well, it's not a tale for children, but I suppose you're not children anymore, are you?
Oh, certainly
since-
not.
Hard.
Not since last year.
It's sometimes hard for us old folk, isn't it, Quilliam? To realize they grow up and there's not much difference between we and them anymore, save for decades of memories.
I find it a pleasure to watch the youth blossom.
It's a gift, really. My good husband, well, he's very close with the details of such a thing. But the Titan staff, well, it's a dangerous thing in the wrong hands. In truth, I think it was affection for his old friends as much as concern for whose hands it might fall into that kept him hanging it here all these years. Of course, you know, Deepwell, the memorial of Lady Brigitte,
I
from the
do.
heroes of old. Between here and Salter's Port. Well, I've never seen it done before, but Oz always said that the staff had some tie there. Some tie to those old heroes, to Brigitte's companions. I can only wonder what trouble they have in mind.
Well, I certainly hope somebody is taking note of this, because this old brain of mine will not be able to hold any of these names.
I think
write
I think
wonderful letters. I've got a good.
Yeah. I think Odella, this is something that she probably like used to do to Obi, is like to try to, you know, cheer him, like, I don't know, just to like make, like, she like leans over and whispers just to him. She goes, "This is bad on such a busy day. Now the inn is short-staffed." And then just like goes back to
Oh
like,
my gosh, Grace. Oh man.
As,
yeah,
Yeah,
Obi's
that's
reaction.
great.
I just feel like I can picture this of like Obi always like leads in, Obi always leads in and tells these like jokes or. No, it's Obi.
And I think O kind of leans back, or Obi kind of chuckles under his breath, and again sort of like plays with that little leaf that he's got in his pocket, and kind of like holding it in his paw, kind of whispers, "I've missed those jokes," very quietly, and only you, Ode, hear that word.
She smiles.
I know that the perch guard are on their way. Do you think that I might trouble you, really for the sake of everybody? Do you think you might take to the road and head out towards Salter's Port, see if you might find the guard? If you run into those bandit dawn callers, don't cross them. They're dangerous folk.
Oh, well, I didn't find them very dangerous at all.
Mr. Quilliam, did you
they?
fight them?
Oh, no, I would not fight. No.
Just produce some spikes around their feet. So.
Oh, well.
I mean, it was good. It was great. It's great.
Well, fighting is it's a broad term, really. I merely facilitated the good earth that it may defend itself.
Yeah.
I am a pacifist.
That's one way to put it.
I do a lot of defending myself too, and it ends up in a lot of black eyes, which is, you know, people seem to think that I'm in trouble for that, but, you know, I'm just defending myself.
Well,
I mean,
my
there's nothing
little
wrong
Holly,
with black eyes.
have you been getting into scraps again?
I've been finishing scraps. I don't start them. You know me.
I do. I know you very well. I've known you ever since you were just a tiny little thing. And now you're just... Well, you're less tiny now.
So it's on. It's asking us to go towards Saltersport, but not to Saltersport. There's something on the way to Saltersport.
I think that what she's saying is like the perch guard are supposedly like en route to town. They're supposed to arrive. Like maybe if you all would be willing to like run down the road and see if you could get them and tell them to hurry up.
Got it.
I think Holly has started like shadow boxing. Like she's like, we're gonna find him and we're gonna get your staff back. And Miss Lumel, as long as maybe if I help you with that, you won't tell my mom that I dropped the pie. And then I'm happy to help. I'll go help.
I'll do you one better, my dear. I'll bake a whole new one for you.
Oh, that seems like a lot of trouble. You could have just said it tasted good.
Well, all right, it tasted good.
Good.
I'm quite old, as a matter of point, and if I don't have to cook another pie today, that would be fine. Oh, I don't believe this. What a catastrophe.
Well, don't worry, Lady Luna. I'm sure these folk will look after it. I suppose I can escort you, at least as far as to my farm.
It would mean a great deal to me if you kept an eye on them, Quilliam. If I were just a bit more spry, I would do it myself, but...
Well, I appreciate that you think that I am on a higher level of spry than you, but I don't know. That's quite a distance. Do you really think they need the assistance of someone like me?
I think she like looks over the lot of them and it's just like,
You underestimate yourself, old friend. You've seen much and more. A bit of discretion goes a great way when it comes to...
I think she looks at Holly like, and she's like,
Well,
when
I suppose
dealing with youth,
I suppose as an old relic of this village myself, I should go out and try and preserve another one.
thank you, my friend.
Yeah, that spike stuff
Thank
was
you
cool.
all.
So should do that, more of that.
I appreciate it.
He poked his quills. Oh, thank you. Yes. I do look after them.
and I think, the Jerbeen like starts rattling away like,
Oh, can I go with you, Holly? I'd love to see you. You beat those guys right over the head. I'm sure of it. I've seen you. I remember last year when you killed that snake.
Because, I like gave that snake what for, and I've proven myself out there on the road, but I don't know if you're quite there yet. I think you should stay back and help Miss Lumel. I'm sure, help her clean up all this mess.
Yeah, all right. I'll do that. I'm going to learn how to fight with this broom. And then I'm going to be able to help you out next time. And if another snake comes, I'm going to give him one of these. And I'm going to give him one of those.
and I think that Lady Luma's like,
All right, Donovan, let's just settle down now.
and she kind of looks at you like haplessly, and he's like dancing around in between like table legs, like weaving and bobbing.
I think Holly's gonna trip him.
Oh,
Steal my thing, will
That's
you?
some edge.
make an athletics check or something.
Yeah, sure, she doesn't start the fights.
To be
19.
fair, this guy was already kind of funny.
Oh yeah, I think in much the style as you've done with your 78 siblings over the years, as he's like dancing and darting and weaving, his tail kind of whips around, and you just like put your foot down on his tail, and he goes to jump forward like boom right into the ground. The broom like goes flying, and he's like,
I tripped. Sorry about that. Yeah. But...
Lesson number 1, keep the tail tucked.
Lesson number 2. Hold on to the props.
Lesson number 3.
Thank
Get
you.
a good night's sleep.
Thank you, Miss Holly, Mr. Obi, and Mr. Quilliam.
What is this group?
And I think with that, the like scene fades out. And you guys tell me, do we open back up with like a lot of you walking down the road back in the direction of Quilliam's?
Yeah, that's how I can
Yeah.
picture it. Just kind of all of us waddling along.
Oh gosh, I'd have to
Yeah,
walk
I don't know. Is
so
there any
slowly.
questions?
Yes. Yes, you would. Quilliam is not a spry fellow.
Oh,
Yeah, I think like probably like Odella's trying to like be at the back with Obi, but like William is so slow it makes it impossible to like be at the back, like trying to like, linger back. We just
I'm
keep like running into.
don't-
Yeah.
Slow
Yeah, the
and
pace
steady.
kind of picks up and it's like, oh.
Yeah.
I just take one step at a time.
I think
Okay,
Holly is like
so-
literally running circles. And she kind of like checks in, and then she like does another circle, and then she like checks it. Yeah.
I think this is the time of the night where maybe we need a map.
That'd be rich. What
Nobody
could
told me
we
there was gonna be
possibly
maps.
need a map for?
Let's see how this second screen is, if people like this one as much. Hang on, watch, we got cool transitions too. Hold on to your hats. Oh my god, my hat's still here.
It is beautiful.
That transition.
That's good.
That's pretty good, right?
Yeah.
Is that good?
You didn't put us
Kicking
on the
it up.
map.
We're
Yeah,
bringing
we can't
production
see it on real
value.
time.
You guys don't need to see the map. Get out of here. Are you
Ah,
going to
there
do
it is.
something? We got production value over here for the
Nice.
Philly fam. We're doing it right. The dawn of the next age, chapter 2. And so I think that with the 5 of you making your way down the road, Holly like running in circles around everyone, Quilliam dragging at the end, you all can like reposition yourselves as you see fit. But I think that you like see the gang of Gallus standing in the road, or just a half dozen of them. One of them clearly like a bit bigger and beefier than the others. But I think that you recognize Evan and Danny. I think that you see a couple of others among them. Gallus all, each with these kind of like flamboyant, bright red combs running over their heads, in like varying types of kind of leather armor. And I think that as the bunch of you are kind of like walking up, you hear one of them like,
I don't know what to tell ya. We got everything that we could from the old burr. There wasn't nothing there aside from squash and cabbages and bugs and some soup and... Ah, well, there he is right there, huh?
and I think that like the couple of them like turn, and you see this one like bigger, taller Gallus fellow like step forward. His fur is like his feathers are a speckled, kind of mottled white with these like bits of black on them. It's really like he's quite a beautiful looking individual as he comes striding forward. You see that he's wearing a leather vest similar to his companions, but this one's studded with ingots of brass. And he has a curving sword at his hip, which one hand falls to like quite dramatically, and he like tilts back a little bit, kind of like leaning forward as he steps towards you, and is like,
What are the lot of you doing then?
You talking to us?
Oh, yes, was that directed towards
I don't
us?
see any other dirt diggers walking down the street.
We're
you
walking on
have
the
to
dirt
dig
that we
into us.
apparently dig.
Language. Goodness.
Well, you have to dig in dirt to get the carrots. You wouldn't be able to get them otherwise.
Yeah.
Where I come from, old man, we prefer apples to carrots, and you get them up in the boughs of the trees.
Do you have some apples? I'd love an apple.
No, I don't have any apples for you. I'm being insulting, you daft old hedge.
Oh, well, I am old, and I suppose I am a bit daft too. You're very observant.
No, I'm still being more insulting to you. How are you taking my insults with so little concern?
Well, I guess you're doing it very well.
Do they...
and I think one of the others is like, I thought it was really insulting, boss. And I think he turns looking back.
Really
to you,
not.
like,
Well, get yourselves going then. Keep a walking. Make your way to Salter's Port, where dirt diggers like you can go ahead and smell the brine and the seaweed like you
Do
should.
we see a staff?
Bah!
It's fantastic.
do you see his staff? That's a
Great
really
question.
Great
Yeah.
question. Yeah, I think you do, in fact, see a staff, Odella. I see it as Cat trying to really sabotage the whole stream. I think
Pinky,
that you
join
see.
the call.
I think. Yeah, he loves it. He's like sleeping here. He doesn't care. Like, oh, are you busy now? Let me just smash in all your equipment. I think you see Evan himself. He's got this like twisted, gnarled kind of black walnut staff with his like arm wrapped around it. He's kind of leaning on it ever so casually.
I think Odella would turn attention to him and say, I think we'd like that back.
Oh my, you have such good eyes, Odella.
As you like kind of adjust the spectacles, I can see. I think that like he kind of like looks around and he's like, "Do you mean this? This here stick?"
Yeah. Yeah. We kind of like it back.
I think Holly is just like locked eyes on Quilliam, and she's got a hand on her axe, and she's like, "Say the word, Mr. Quilliam. Say the word."
I don't think we have established any parameters. What word is it you want me to say?
Oh, I would love to go knock these guys down for size, but you know.
Is that long-tailed, dirty whiskered, flop-eared little mouse girl insinuating that she wants to fight us with that axe? Is that what you're doing, mouse girl?
Yeah, that is definitely what I am doing, and I could take all yous on with one arm tied behind my back.
Wait, what?
You know what I have to say to that?
You all, Holly. You all.
What?
I'll tell you what I have to say to that. You dirty whiskered, flap-eared, long-tailed little dirt-digging Jerbeen girl.
my
Well, that's
goodness
not
gracious.
very nice.
I tilt my head back at you, and I laugh.
And I think that the others are like, "Are we supposed to laugh? Yeah, we should be laughing. Yeah, when he laughs, we laugh. I mean, what are you gonna clap?" And they all like tilt their heads back, laughing stupidly.
All right.
Surely we.
Oh, I know you. I remember you. I saw you dancing in Alderheart once.
What did you think?
You're that bum Mapach whose leg went out on him. All right, I'm ready to dance with you then. Is that what we're doing?
Let's see.
I mean fight. When I say dance, I mean fight.
I get the
With
metaphor.
weapons.
I
We're
understand the idea of what you're going
Yeah.
for. I'm there
Yeah.
with you. And if you'd really like to dance, then let's dance. And as he says that, you see Obi's appearance sort of shift and shudder slightly. And all of a sudden, as he draws from his scabbard this short sword, kind of very faintly curved, he holds it in one hand. He unhooks this small little buckler shield from the other. And as his form shudders and shimmers, you see it duplicate. 2 Obis, a third Obi, a fourth Obi, each wielding a small blade and this buckler shield, which around the very edges has these little lacquered wooden discs that rattle like a tambourine, but with this like hollow woody sound. And as these 4 Obis stand there, they leap and jump as he casts mirror image.
I think that what you hear, the big brawny guy in the middle, like, "Oh, son of a Cervan, this one's going to be a pain in the and we shall roll initiative.
Yeah, now there's 8 of us.
Son of a servant, really? My goodness.
Oh, I'm not rolling real dice.
Why can't we be friends?
And I think it's at this point that you see like the big one in the middle, just like, "For the cry of the dawn!" And like he pulls his sword, yanking his mace off of his other belt, and yep, here we go. I see Quilliam and Obi. I see Odella.
I forgot to click my token before I did my.
No problem. Yeah, what'd you get?
It's in the chat. What did I get? 21.
Nice. You rolled pretty well.
21.
We all did very well on initiative there.
Almond's the freaking lightning stepper. What's your dex, Almond?
Sorry, let me just 18.
Wow! You are a fast Cervan cleric. You may act first, my friend. What would you like to do?
Those high initiative rolls can be a curse sometimes.
Yeah. Okay.
I think Vesk's entire personality was formed by like 5 high initiative rolls in the beginning of the campaign. Yeah, exactly. Charge!
Okay. First of all, I would like to cast. Well, firstly, Armin sort of gets that big pot lid that she had slung over her back is actually her shield, so she gets that out. And she's ready to go. And if I could sort of do it as a free action, she sort of goes, "Oh,
of course.
All right, time to change my apron." And she sort of takes off her cooking apron and pulls out a fighting apron out of her backpack and puts that on, so she's ready to go.
Here's my fighting
I can
apron.
see it, like spilling it around the antlers, like.
Oh gosh, which do I do? I would like to cast. I'm gonna cast Bane.
Yeah.
Oh
wait,
wow.
Coming out strong. That was not the spell I was expecting. That's awesome.
Okay, I'm doing that. All right. Oh, 30 feet. Okay, so I've got to move up a bit.
Somewhere Riley is doing a voice.
50. How far away am I from people now? Oh, still got to move
You
up.
were merely born in the chicken coop.
Yeah, okay.
So, I would like to cast it on the big guy in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Oops.
Charisma saving
yes.
throws, is that right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's see how charismatic these cocks are.
Ew.
That's a 2. Rarland's Corn, a very uncharismatic cock, as it were. He is baned. And now I will roll on the others. Here, we're going to give you a moment. Give me.
I'll go for the 2 that are sort of. Oh wait, hang on. How far away? Let me check how far away I am from people. Let's go. Yeah, okay. Let's go for those 2 that are closer to me. So let's go this one and this one, and they all fail.
They all fail their saving throws and are just like. Almond, that was your action. That was some of your movement. You still have a bonus action.
You still have a bonus action.
A friendly reminder, and just for anybody who's out there in the chat, we're playing with Philly fam rules, which means these folks are welcome to cast more than one spell in a round. I don't care if they have a bonus action spell and a regular spell, they can cast both. Get rid of those spell slots. Too many spell slots already I'm dealing with.
It's a trap.
I'm gonna be
Don't
like
do
fast
it.
and lewd to
Yeah, I know.
Right, with object interactions and stuff like this. Like I'm pretty like fast and loose with a lot of this stuff over here at Twitch TV. So yeah, I don't know if you want to do anything else, Almond, but
given it is the first combat and we do have those loose rules with spellcasting, I want to bring out. Oh wait, is it a bonus action to cast it? Oh no,
I think
indeed it is.
Oh yes, it is.
Yeah.
My spiritual weapon.
Yeah.
What is your spiritual weapon, Almond?
My spiritual weapon is a rolling pin.
A rolling pin.
You got a rolling pin icon ready, Philly?
Yeah. Where's your rolling pin
Even
icon?
got set up. I should have thought about that.
I'm looking.
I pulled out a trout the other day pretty quickly, so I believe in Rich's ability.
Almond.
Yeah.
Here's your rolling pin.
I would like to put it right on the far side of this main dude.
Bing, rolling pin has entered the combat. The rolling pin like manifests over here besides this big obnoxious guy.
We have little faith.
You may make an attack with it as it's summoned.
Yeah, I don't know if that's what the Roll20 chat has already catered for.
Yeah.
Oh, it has. You're right.
Didn't roll very well, though.
11 misses. I think that the rolling pin like begins to like manifest in the air, swinging down, and he's just like, throws like his mace up, batting it away. It's spiritual, so he doesn't actually do that. Almond, that was your movement. That was your action. That's your bonus action. Are you good?
Hang on. How much movement have I got?
You have a little more movement if you want to reposition.
How much movement have I got? Oh, only 35. How far did I even move? I don't know.
You were right next.
You were basically
Oh.
at the front. You moved 15
I'm
feet.
going to
You
move
have another
back to
20
where
feet
I
of movement.
was.
You got it. You step forward, calling out the curse, manifesting the rolling pin, falling back with the pot lid clenched in your hand and your fighting apron on. And I think that with that, you see these other Gallus, all of them turning and looking at each other, Danny and Evan. And I think that they're just like, for the Dawn Callers! And a bunch of like wailing, screaming chicken people come charging down the road, brandishing clubs and etc. at the line.
There's a sentence I didn't expect to hear today.
This is my favorite thing.
I mean, who knew? Who knew what was coming? This fellow right here is subject to the effects of Bane. He comes racing up to you, Almond, and throws his, like, spiky mace out at you. That's going to be a 17 after Bane. Does that hit?
Just hits. No.
Oh,
Just hits. Wham! I think he manages to, like, get in behind the shield, clipping you for 3 points
Okay.
of damage, though you're able to kind of move around most of it.
Okay. And then I have to make a
Strain
concentration check on Bane.
Yeah.
Yep.
But
This one here, also baned, he proceeds to like come racing up and he climbs up into the tree. You see him jump, grabbing a branch, pulling himself up onto it, and then he jumps, woof, and he comes gliding down at the lot of you, like landing here on the side of the road in front of you, Odie, where he's going to take a swing. He's also baned, and you have mirror image. Oh, critical one. I think like he stumbles as he like hits the ground, like racing into you, and you like just push him back off of you. Like, what are you doing, man? That's those guys. I think that these poor people are going to have to dash, and so they do. This is a dashing dawn caller, comes racing up next to Holly. Another one comes running up here next to Almond. And I think that you see the big one turn, and he looks back to Evan, and he's just like, you take that staff and you get it to the roadway fountain. You know, the rest of them will be coming to meet you there. I'll finish these dirt diggers. And Evan's like, aye, boss, you got it. And he turns and starts like racing away up the road.
I miss being a monk sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, he climbs up on this tree and then jumps, sailing, right?
That was the real. You're not catching him. He's off the map before you can move.
Don't even think about
I'm a
it.
jerk.
Yeah. I don't
Okay.
care what shenanigans you're bringing out, you're not getting him.
Obi, you're up on 19.
all right. So Obi here with his mirror images around him, unlike the mirror images you might normally anticipate with a spell like this, where it's the exact same duplication of the appearance, Obi's duplicates instead move somewhat independently. It is a mixture of movement and a flurrying. His coat kind of billows out behind him with this swirl of movement as these four Obis move in unison of a dance, leaping and jumping, striking with their swords against each other's buckler shields, this flurry of choreographed movement that spirals forward as he advances in between these two roosters, jumping and leaping. Always you see him land with a little more favor on his right leg than his left, but nonetheless he lands between them, and with a flurry of movement he takes his sword and his small little buckler shield, which rattles like a tambourine as he turns in a swiveling strike as he goes to attack. Will attack the one that completely whiffed its attack on him.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And we'll see how we go. Let's see how we go.
Well, now that is impressive.
He's a dancing machine. 19 hits.
It does. And as he strikes into this first one. He continues turning, and the blade continues to slash into the other with a flourish, as he's going to do some additional damage to the 2 Gallus that are beside him. So let me roll for damage. Initial damage. Oh no, that's an extra roll. How do I do this? There we go.
Austin, you have confused so many people in the chat. They was
I know.
What?
I know.
Sure have. Their heads are spinning.
Your image, but he can also hit multiple people. What's going on here?
6 damage to the one that attacked me, and then both of the Gallus beside me take an extra 1 point of damage.
Got it. As you whirl, the like second Gallus like ducking down, the like blade just kind of like clipping it, and the one in front of you like stepping back a bit staggered, right? They're just like all kinds of like there's a lot of like these kind of sounds happening as they're like right up on top of you, you know.
And I think he sort of staggers a little bit, trying to get his balance as he glances towards the large one that this Roland's corn, or it is like, come dance, sir. The Volters are right here.
And I think that, I think that you see like the big rooster. He like shakes the saber at you, and he's like, "I'll be right there on my turn. I just need a few more seconds to move." Obi, that was your action. That was your action. Yeah, bonus action. Anything else happening? Okay, Holly, you're up on 17.
Great. So Holly also like whips off her shield that she wears on her back, and she pulls out her wood axe that she uses, which is really a battle axe. And she is going to swing at the one that's in front of her. 23.
Oh, yeah, that hits. I think that it's like...
for 14 slashing damage. I told y'all she's a badass.
What's
Yeah. I think she just like makes this really big, like as if she's like chopping wood motion, and it just comes like straight down the middle, and she's like, "That's what you get for insulting me and Mr. Quilliam," and she like swings it down.
The axe like hammers in. I think that there's like a burst of like feathers. The Gallus like staggering back into the tree, like kind of vanishing into the undergrowth as you like cleave it away. Holly, that is your action. You got movement.
Yeah, so she's gonna move up here, and for as a Jerbeen, she can do the help action as a bonus action. So she's gonna
amazing.
Move up to the other side. And she goes, "I got you, Miss Almond," and she starts like making faces at it and like taunting it, so that she's trying to like distract it away, so that Almond will have help on her action, even though we're also flanking.
Yeah,
it's like
Dawn.
It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. You come like darting in, and I think we see like the Gallus like tilting, trying to follow you around. Like, Holly, that's your action. That's your bonus action. This is gonna bring us to Odella on 16.
Yeah, Odella's gonna see all the cool stuff her brother did, and then just like slowly sneak up behind the guy that he's fighting, and pull out a longsword. That Obi might recognize, and then attack, or short sword, sorry, and then attack from behind with advantage.
No, go for it.
Oh, so bad.
9. I think that the Gallus in front of your brother like staggered a bit by him. He's been like rotated around, and he sees you coming, and at the last second like shoves his mace up, like bang, knocking your sword out of the way. Odella, that's part of your movement. That's your action. Bonus action.
I do a bonus action, but I don't really want to move, so I'll just stay where I am. That's my turn.
Okay, you got it. With that, Quilliam, 15.
Okay, Quilliam, who is a little bit overwhelmed with everything is going, I was like, oh my, sweet Hinman, okay. And he's going to walk up here, and even though the Gallus in between him, he's going to see Acorn and, sorry, I did it as well, Almond and Holly, and just kind of reach out and put a hand on each one of their soldiers and goes, well, whatever happens, I know that you two will be very brave and do your best. And he will cast heroism at level 2 on both of them. So they gain
Oh.
4 temporary hit points each, and they are immune to being frightened. I cast it at level 2.
Awesome.
So wait, was that on?
It was on both Almond and Holly.
Okay. so
And
four
as a
temporary
bo-
points.
4 yeah, it's equal to my spellcasting modifier. And to add to that, he will say that's like, and I believe in you, and Almond, I think that you could do with a little bit of healing as well. And he'll cast Healing Word at level 1 as a bonus on Almond, because I think she shipped a little bit of damage. It's here somewhere. Ooh.
Hmm.
7.
Nice.
Oh, that's more than
I
enough.
can't get my sheet to pop
Yes, I
up.
did just.
I'm so sad.
on stream.
That's quite a nice healing word, right?
And that
there.
would be my turn.
It was quite an incredible turn, Quilliam. If I must say, Quilliam, as you've like stepped up next to this guy, inspiring your allies with heroism, healing them from injury. I think it's at this point that we see this like rooster raise his sword and his mace in the other hand, like, I'm Roland's Corn, leader of the Dawn Callers, and you dirt-digging humble slime will face my wrath. And I think that he like leaps up, like jumping off of this like pole over here, this kind of like road sign, and comes like gliding in,
Oh no.
landing here next to the many dancing forms of Obi, and he is going to attack. He's got his sword in one hand and his mace in the other.
Does my spiritual weapon get an opportunity attack? It doesn't, does it?
No.
No.
No, negative.
That's what I thought.
Unfortunately, my sheet's just bugging out a little bit. Just bear with me here. Okay, that's much better. So he's flanking. So a
He's
17.
baned. He's
Would
baned.
that hit you? You're right. 17 reduced to 15. Does that hit you, Obi?
You're muted us.
Don't
think
you have
he's
to like
figuring
roll
out
a
his
percentage or
image.
something?
Yeah.
I think he is. I think
15
it's.
would
You roll a
just hit,
d20, don't you?
but unfortunately it does hit me because I need to roll a 6 or
Oh!
higher to hit a duplicate. So
Oh.
Obi, like one of his duplicates goes to try to like block the blow with its buckler shield, but unfortunately the blow strikes through and hits into Obi's back as he's like flurrying around.
Yeah, you feel this like dull thud across your back for 4 points of bludgeoning damage as Rollins Corn hits you in the back with his mace. That was his action. That was his movement. That's pretty much his turn. You are up, Almond.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, just to double check before you go.
Yep.
It's 4 points of damage.
Yes, sir. 4 points of bludgeoning. Pretty insignificant. This guy really, he crows a much bigger game than. Yeah.
Yes, dear, we all heard you. You're very loud.
Okay. Man, they moved pretty far away. Bonus action. Well. This is the one downside to spiritual weapon.
It's tough, the movement. It can be tricky, right? Where it ends up not in the fight. Okay. The rolling pin floating down the road towards the melee that's unfolding in front of you, Almond.
Oh, it's a coming. It's a coming.
It's a rolling. Well, I've
See,
got one of them.
That's the how do you want to do this coming down the road right there. You just wait.
Roll it on down.
Yeah.
Rolling,
Building that tension.
Ratchet up the spring.
Rolling, pinner, rolling.
Okay. The one that's in front of me that's baned. I would like to cast Toll the Dead.
Oh, well.
So, wisdom saving throw.
You know what's awesome is that Obi hit it for 1 point of damage, which means that it will, in fact, take the higher
so
die
good.
of Toll the Dead. It's so freaking funny. Okay, saving throw incoming. What am I making? Con save? Wisdom.
And he's baned.
Indeed, he
Does matter.
Yeah, he fails. So you have 1d12 points of necrotic damage. What does the toll sound like?
Probably just like an old school like dinner bell that you would
Yeah.
that sort of thing. Okay, so do I just tell I just want to roll 1d12. Come on, roll 20. How do I do this?
You
That
can
one.
use the dice roller on the side, or there you
Oh,
go.
yeah.
No, that's okay.
Hey, got to start
It's
somewhere.
twice the amount of damage that Austin did.
We're improving.
To that one Gallus.
So funny.
It wasn't even the one he attacked, but yeah.
And that's your action. That's your bonus action. You could move, but they're all up on top of you. Are you good?
I'll stay there. Yep.
Okay. Which will bring us to the Dawn Callers. And I think that they just cry out like, "We are the Dawn Callers, and you dirt diggers will fear our wrath!" And they all just start swinging wildly. They seem to be very one note, these stupid rooster bandits. 20 is going to be for you, Holly.
Yep.
I'm starting over here clockwise.
Yeah, that hits.
Does that hit?
Yeah, it does.
Okay. This one, whacks you in the shoulder for 4 points of bludgeoning damage with its mace.
10 HP.
This one here, nice. This one here swings its mace at you, Almond, even though it's flanking. 20. Does that get you, Almond?
Is that the one that's baned?
Yes, thank you. Yes. 16.
That just misses.
He starts to
Shield.
step forward, swing the mace at you, and you see him blink his eyes as he gets close, thrown off. Finally, this last one here, I think it wheels on you, Odella.
Yeah.
The mace rising up, and it tries to just give you a pop in the head there, a boop in the snoot, perhaps. 16.
Yeah.
Is he also baned?
Oh yeah, he's banned.
Yes, he is also banned. Thank you. You're doing awesome cleric work already. 12.
Misses.
That's probably a miss.
Yeah.
That's
Misses.
some real
Can I just
clerical work going on there.
I know. I was reaching for. This might be the most effective Bane I've ever seen in
Yeah.
years of
It's
5th
pretty
edition. This is
good.
already this thing's doing work.
Certainly more effective than the Tom Hardy one, certainly.
Yeah, I mean, we love that guy. Obi, you're up.
Obi sees the Gallus turn and attempt to strike at his sister, and his moving images gather and sort of leap, and he, with a jumping leap, comes down with the blade, sort of right aiming for the shoulder blades between this Gallus. So he's going to make a sword attack with advantage because of flanking. 23 to hit.
Yeah, hits.
All right, so that is 8 points of damage to the one between us. And I think...
Obi, what does it look like? He drops.
Excellent. He comes down with a slashing strike that hits the Gallus in the shoulder area, sort of knocks it to the ground. And he looks up at Odella there and the sword that she's wielding, and he kind of cocks his head slightly as he sort of launches back in this spiraling movement, and he's going to again with the blade flourish deal extra damage to the two that are beside him. So to Roland's and the other one, hopefully I roll better. 4 points of damage to each of them.
They don't love this.
And then with a spiraling flourish, she sort of lands again. Still the mirror image duplicates sort of leaping and jumping, fighting each other in this flurry of choreography. As he kind of winks to Ode. That's his turn.
A long-haired, leaping Mapach connecting with all of these foes around you as you strike. Rollins' corn is rattled. He's like, does not seem into this. Holly, you're up.
She's been like making faces and jeers and like calling him all sorts of names. And now she's going to swing her axe at him again.
I don't approve of your language, young lady.
15 is going to hit.
For 13.
Oof.
Holly, another one, bites the dust.
Yeah, I think this time she like grips it differently, like the other way, and then like swings sideways with it, and just chops into this guy.
This like explosion of feathers sort of like vanishes Holly from next to you as you're like looking down towards her almond, but you hear this like cut short as another Gallus drops into the road.
And I think Holly is nimble, so she can move through anybody larger than her.
Amazing.
And so she's just going to move to the other side of this big guy and be like, you want a piece of me? And again, she is trying to help.
Who are you helping? Which one?
I think she's gonna look at Odella and be like, I'm gonna point out all of his like soft bits, and you're gonna poke at him, and it's gonna be so great.
Perfect.
I don't have any soft bits, you little leaping Jerbeen. I don't even know what you're talking about. I'm here to fight this one. He's the one with the
I
dancing.
don't know. Looks like you've had one too many cottage pies, and maybe slept in a little too late some days. And I see some little soft belly right around here that looks
How
real
dare
good
you
for bucking.
comment on my cottage pie consumption, you vicious whiskered monster?
Holly, that's your action. That's your bonus action. That's some of your movement.
Yeah.
I think it's Odella's turn.
Odella will move up, seeing Rollins attack. Brother will want to get revenge, and now she knows where all the soft spots are. So come up and attack with a short sword with advantage, right?
Yes.
19. And I get sneak attack.
Yeah.
You sure do. You can't do nothing about this.
Whoever had rogue, you're right.
Yeah.
11 points of piercing damage.
I think the moment she was stealing your vegetables, everyone knew what she was.
Yeah. Also, like, I know, like,
your
two
shorts are-
of us are raccoons, but also a raccoon. So, one of yeah.
It's kind of right
Your
there.
short sword flashes out as Holly's like, right there, right? And you're just like, and you catch him in one of the soft bits, feathers kind of like poofing off of him. He's that hurt. Yeah, that
Great.
definitely hurt.
I'm gonna move back because I have fancy footwork. He cannot make an opportunity attack against me because I made a melee attack against him.
My gosh, fancy footwork indeed. Odella doing her own
Yeah,
dance.
and then
Yep.
I'm gonna come back to the tree. Is there somewhere where I could hide? That's with cunning action as my bonus action.
Yeah, absolutely. That's all like thick bushes, right? So like you like dart back
Just like
from them
slowly
and, like,
back
kind of
into
dive
the
into the
Homer
bush.
Simpson shit. Just like back into the bush.
Oh yeah, even
Yeah.
better. Yeah,
Can we make a stealth roll?
yeah, please. That's another one for this here Philly Fam featured show. Everyone got a free feat because why the hell not? Got it, Odella. You like slip back into the brush around you, and with that, Quilliam, you're up. Soft paws, hard quills.
Okay.
I don't know. It's that time of day. We should play more D&D together, baby. I miss you, man. I really like. Yeah.
It's been a fun day of D&D. It's like we're getting our fill now. Okay, Quilliam will slowly just kind of at his own pace, just amble around, going up to the last gallus that isn't the big guy. It was like, you know, far be it for me to complain, but I think you have made some very poor choices with your life. You can reconsider now if you'd like. He's just gonna wait.
No, I'm not reconsidering nothing. No, I want to beat this here Mapach into the ground with his images and his...
That's a shame. Quilliam will cast Shillelagh on his club with his bonus action and bonk to the guy on the head. Just like, oh.
All right, I take it back, please. Go ahead, you can make it attack.
So it's 1d. Let me get the advance up. 19 to hit.
Oh, yeah, that hits.
5 points of bludgeoning damage.
Quilliam, what does it look like as you kill this chicken bandit?
Quilliam will go, oh, well, that is a shame, and bop him on the head and go, oh dear, oh no, you know, sometimes I don't know my own strength. Are you okay? No, you're dead. Oh dear.
He's like laying on the ground.
Just this crow, just like rooster for twitching. Oh dear. I didn't mean to do
Holland.
that. Good job, everybody. End turn.
It is now Rollins Corn's turn, and he looks as he has Odie on one side of him. He has Holly here. He has Obi on top of him. He stares right at you, Odella, as you clearly haven't hidden yourself super well. But he's just like
This is more than I bargained for! I thought that this was a solo dance card! I'm out of here!
And he's going to jump back out of the way of the pair of you. You guys could take attacks of opportunity against him.
Yes, please. 19.
Obi and Holly, 19. Yeah, that hits. Damn
it. That hits, damn it.
11.
Got it. You cleave into him with the axe as he darts back. How did you end up doing, Obi?
Nope, it's an 8.
Ooh, he burns his reaction, and he is going to riposte as you stab for him. He's like, ha ha! And he dashes out rolling his saber around, and just misses you. You know, there's this moment where the pair of you are spiraling your swords, and he's he's just narrows his eyes at you next time we dance, I won't let you bring so many of your friends. And
in a hedge next time.
Oh,
yeah,
take some work.
He tries to run, which is probably, I imagine, not going to work out really terrifically for him. But he can make his way all the way up to here, darting down the road, racing away from you.
Dawn colors live to fight another day!
He's running down the road.
One more go.
He's a total jerk, Aston. I know. This freaking guy, can you even believe it? It is your turn, however, Almond.
On one hand, I would like to kill Rollins Corn, and on the other hand, he can't. That's a name that can't just be in one episode. You can't name him Rollins Corn and then be yeah, he died immediately.
We could name something in his honor, the rolling pin or something. Rollins Corn.
No.
Rollins.
The rolling pin has already been named Roland.
Oh.
Roland the rolling
of
pin.
Troy.
To the Dark Tower did Roland ride. Yeah, so you're up.
Okay.
He's just charging down the road after dear old Evan. You guys have killed Danny at least, though.
All right. Well, I am still going to move Roland.
We can get him. I'm pretty We can dash at least.
That's certainly true.
Let me just check.
Oh, you have like a nice movement speed too, Almond, right? You got a little bit of extra.
Oh,
No, I don't know if I do. I'm only 35.
The rulers come out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've had mine hidden so nobody
no,
can
that's
see
not
what I'm
what I
saying about him measuring.
Except
them
the
doing.
the DM in the game can always see it, which means they all see it on Twitch. That's all.
Oh, right.
That's my favorite part. Yeah. It's fine.
Yeah,
You
well,
guys have fun, man.
Yeah, that's what I say to that.
So, wait, how does jumping work? Can I move my full distance and then jump as well? Is that how that works? Or
It's just like part of your movement, really.
you'd think I'd understand that sort of thing with playing an arrow
You think I would
but I
too.
still don't.
Oh no, yeah, Aarakocra don't jump; they just fly, right?
Okay.
Are we
movement-
chasing him? Is that what we're doing?
I'm going to cast Guiding
Almost
Bolt.
definitely.
Yeah, the jumping just takes up your regular movement, though you can jump as your move action. So you're gonna go with the guiding bolt,
Guiding
okay?
So let me just throw that into. Oh no, that's not fair at all.
Oh, great mistakes. Where'd you go? I totally like lost you. Oh, you're still back here.
I'm still down there.
I think you like go to fire the like guiding bolt, but there's a moment as like the like multiple images of like Obi in front of you like almost throw you off for a second. Like you think you're about to like possibly hit one and you kind of like shift a little bit and like, yeah, no dice.
Yeah. Well, I am going to move my 35 feet. Just because I can, and I've got you know, a couple of bodies in front of me. I'm going to long jump the first 30.
Yeah.
So where do I? Okay, I get to there. Okay, and that's my turn.
Boing.
Which
Boing.
brings us to
Almond
Obi
just Super
on
Mario
now.
jumps over all of us.
Yeah.
So Obi and his swirling dance begin shifting over. He actually moves, how far is it? 15 feet over towards Ode. And as he spirals towards her, it's like, were you still as fast as you were when we were kids?
Yeah, but how did you find me in here? I was sneaky. I was being sneaky. But yeah,
Because we're like
Yes.
this. We're like this.
yeah, okay.
Let's make you faster. And he kind of gives her like a little nudge, and he's going to cast Long Strider on Ode. So you have an extra 10 feet of movement for the next hour.
Legendary sibling maneuvers.
Pretty smart of me to pick a spellcaster as my sibling so that I can.
I did not be on purpose so you could find me and do just that.
I say, interesting. I think I'll be your sister.
So that's his action to cast Long Strider on Ode, and then he's still got 15 feet of movement. So then he's going to spiral out of the trees in the direction of where Rollins is running to.
You got it, Obi, as you like dance away from your sister back towards the road. Holly Goodtail, you were up on 17.
Okay, can I get a fighter clarification?
Yeah,
if I
please.
action surge, can one of those two actions be a dash? Or no?
Heck yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay, then let me just double check. Oh yeah. Holly goes tearing after this jerk face. And she's gonna slash at him with her sword. Or with her axe.
Holly,
Right
you're
at
so
the ankles.
fast. Yes, you come like racing up behind Rollins' corn, and he wheels back at you like, what are you doing chasing me? I told you I was here to fight the other one. You know, really, there's no need for it to be settled this way. 14?
Yeah, I'm assuming the 14 misses.
It does. Wait. Yes, it does. He like jumps
was
as like the
mean.
axe like sweeps low across the ground. He like jumps up over it and is like, really, there's no need for this. I mean, I know I said all those things about the dirt digging and your whispers and all of it, but Holly, that's your action. That's your movement. That's your action surge. Bonus action. Anything else crazy?
Yeah, I think she's gonna like just move slightly, and she's gonna try to like trip him if he tries to run, and that's her way of helping Odella as he comes up. If you'll allow that. I don't know how much leverage you're gonna give me in this bonus action.
Yeah, I mean, does it have to be? I don't know if you have to like be within a certain range, but otherwise that's fine.
Yeah, that's up to you.
the
It
help
just says
action,
that I
right?
can do the help action as a bonus action. So
Yeah, no problem. Odella, you're up on 16.
Bonus action dash, cunning action. So get up into flanking position and then attack with the short sword with advantage, it was really bad. It's really bad.
That
roll.
was really bad.
Pretty much just
Unfortunately.
Oh, wow.
Odella, you come like bursting out of the undergrowth, like racing up the road, moving very fast, and you like slash out, and he's not even like looking at you, and you just like miss. I think you stumble on a bit of a tree root as you're under like this big gnarly tree over here. Yep.
That's my action. That's my movement. That's my bonus action. So that's my turn.
Unfortunately, all those things are true. Quilliam, you're up on 15.
Oh, well, I wasn't expecting to run today. Okay. So Quilliam will run his entire 25 feet of movement to get up there next to Almond, and Almond will see him be a little bit out of breath, going, "Oh my, this is very tiring. I'm just going to take a little rest." And Almond will see him burn himself up, his quills going out, jugged right, like really rigid, hard quills right next to him. But his beady little eyes will just look 30 feet in front of him, and he will go, "It's been a long time since I've done this." And you will cast Misty Step to appear 5 feet on top of the fleeing Gallus.
Yes.
On top?
I should be within range. So just... So
He's in range.
So the spine,
And
the
so-
spiny ball of this hedgehog will drop from 5 feet on top of
And
his.
so it was in episode 1, we established the maneuver of the Misty Hedgehog grenade. I would
Remember
like
when I said that
for-
feat could allow me to do a fun thing? That's what it is.
I knew it was coming. I am the only one who gets to read your sheet. Let's see about this.
I don't know what the
think
mechanics of
Quilliam-
it would be, but
I think Quilliam. Do your quills give you any kind of damage as a thing?
they do. But when I'm rolled up, anybody who tries to attack me and misses takes, I think it's 2d4 damage. But that's the only kind of figures it gives. I was kind of
Okay, let's have you roll a 1d6, as I think like you could do 1d6 points of quill damage because you didn't use your action to curl into a ball, or did you?
I did.
Is that what happened?
I ran up, used my action to.
Then
curl
use the
into a bar.
2d4. Go for it. Roll 2d4. I am going to give you a little bit of falling damage from this. You do 7 points of piercing damage to Rollins' corn. As like your little like curled up form like falls onto him, and he's like, "Ah! What is this? You bastards can't fly!" He's really looking bad. But Quilliam, unfortunately, you hit the ground at a bad angle, and you suffer 6 points of bludgeoning damage from the fall.
Evens out a little
How?
bit.
Oh dear, I'm just going to have to roll a concentration check for something now.
Oh
You
no.
don't bounce the way you used to when you were a young Hedge.
Oh, that's a young Hedge's game.
Oh.
Oh, that's a failed concentration check. So heroism drops?
Yes, it does.
Okay. Quilliam, that was your action. That was your movement. That was your bonus action. That's it, right?
It says that I can unfurl at any point during my turn, so
Okay.
I shall do that. So I shall bounce off him and just go, "Oh my, that felt. I'm feeling a little bit peaky." That's my turn.
Are you prone? You're probably prone.
I'm probably
right?
prone on the ground. Yeah.
All right.
Little
as long
legs-
as you feel
little legs up in
okay
the air.
with being
Yeah,
prone.
I'm on my back.
Yeah.
Just give me a moment. I just have to get it a bit of momentum.
I think that Rollins Corn, like, eyeing Holly and then wheeling to Odella. He's got a mace in one hand, this curving saber in the other. Quills are sticking out of the side of his feathered face. There's blood mixed with the fur, and he's just like, I didn't come all the way to this dirt-hole marsh town to steal your old magic staff only to get killed by a couple of children and an old hedgehog! Ah! And he, like, plunges the sword down at you, Quilliam. Like, if I die today, I'll take one of ye with me! This is an advantage, because you're prone.
Yes.
He's still baned.
Oh, yeah, he is. Good call. That's going to be 18 to hit.
Oof.
Does that get you, Quilliam?
Yes, I shouldn't have unfurled.
You're going to take 5 points of slashing damage.
Ooh.
At which point he will then, like, lash down at you, I think, with his little mace. He hates you. We really do love Aston remembering her bane.
Such a pro.
It's really extraordinary. 15 again. He's battering away at poor Quilliam
What was
on
that?
the ground. Okay, you took...
Well, you see, my armor
he,
class is 16, though.
Oh!
Yeah.
Epic fail! He, like, plunges down with the sword, like, just catching a bit of your shoulder. You feel, like, the cut, like, digging down in through your fur. And then he goes and, like, swings the mace down, and you just, like, roll a little bit. The mace deflected off of your quills. Yeah, he's gonna just stand his ground, running his death, and he knows it. And he just, I think, yells out, like, you can kill me here today, you dirt-digging humble folk, but Roland's corn won't soon be forgotten. Long live the dawn callers. That's his turn. Almond, you are up.
All right. Yes. Let's get Roland in against Roland.
Oh,
What did I say?
Roland is in.
Okay. And then, all right. Okay.
Just cast it again.
I'm guessing I do that.
Please.
Yeah.
No!
Yeah, it asks your level. Usually, 10 misses. The rolling pin like swings, and I think like he's not even intentionally avoiding it. You know what I mean? He's like leaning down, trying to hassle Quilliam, and the rolling pin just like whoosh, right over his head.
All right. Let me just double check what the range on that was again. Beautiful.
Yeah, no
I'm going to
problem.
stay where I am, and I'm going to cast Toll the Dead again.
Ooh.
So I need, what was it? A wisdom save.
Oops. I rolled charisma, but it's just going to be the same die, which is a freaking really low roll. 2, he fails.
All right, so that's another D12. Oh, man, again?
2 points of damage.
That's the dinner bell.
I think as he's like crowing, though, Almond, he's like, he starts like coughing blood out of his beak, glaring at you like, I hate you, and your horns, and your apron, and this rolling pin.
They're antlers, but we'll let that go.
That is your action and your bonus action. You have some movement.
I'm going to stay where I am.
You got it. And with that, Obi, you're up on 19.
Obi.
We're still here, Obi. We're still here. Come on. Let's get everybody in this
Poor
party.
Obi, man.
Let's make it a party then. He comes whirling out of the trees down the dirt road, leaping and bounding and jumping. He's going to use his action to dash as he rounds. Is he able to occupy the same space as a spiritual weapon or not?
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
So sort of
Spiritual weapon
ducking
is
and
insubstantial,
weaving.
and it's probably like above your head, as you're not a tall guy, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and so as the rolling pin's kind of spiraling, these four obies kind of almost like a maypole kind of like dance around the rolling pin as he looks at Roland's listing off all the things he hates, and he goes, "But I thought you loved dancing. Let's stay here."
All right, I did love dancing. You got me there. Maybe we can revisit our whole initial negotiation. I might have overstated myself.
And all of the four obies who sort of drop their buckler shields slightly to their side and like all hold their blades, like the four blades, like right up towards the little like dangly bit under his beak.
Yeah.
Yeah, the waddle.
Waddle.
Is this what I'm supposed to surrender? I surrender.
I think we're more
Drops his weapons.
interested in the stuff.
Well, I don't have it. I said it with that idiot Evan up the road. He's going to meet with some of the other bandits. There's a fountain not far from here. Have you ever been back and forth between Salter's Point? You know it. The Traveler's Fountain, right on the roadway.
Ode, do you think you can catch him?
Ooh, Evan? Oh,
Yeah.
maybe.
I mean, I realize I've put myself in a really terrible position by all the insulting of the dirt digging and all of you with the fur and such. But, I mean, he does have wings. I'm sure he's moving very quickly.
You underestimate my sister.
Well, that much is true, probably.
Could Odella like see if she could like I feel like can she
She's pretty fast right now. Cunning action dash. If we're going mechanically speaking, this Mapach is very, very fast.
Mapach.
Yeah,
You
yes,
really
that's
gotta
how I'm
get
saying
like
it.
that.
Mapach. Mapach. Has to be a little
He's
like phlegm in the microphone, but
I think he like looks down at like Holly and then over at Quilliam and like back towards Alm, and then he's like,
Are a lot of you really not going to kill me?
I don't know, Holly.
Do I have to?
Wait, does that mean she is going to kill me? Or that she's not a...
Means I haven't decided yet. Fine. Fine.
could somebody help me up?
Oh, sure. I'll give you a hand. I'm really sorry about the stabbing and the battering and such.
Stay there.
Right, that was my mistake. I might have been trying to pull some dirty tricks. I won't do it again.
Yeah, you don't move. I'll help Mr. Quilliam out.
Got it. Hands on my comb.
Oh, thank you, Harley. Thank you. Oh, well, that was all a little bit high tension, wasn't it? Are you okay, Mr. Gallus, Mr. Hawkins? I hope we didn't hurt you.
My name is Rollins Corn. I'm actually doing pretty terrible, I'll be honest. Physically, my ego, emotionally. I mean, I'm taking hits on all fronts here, really, if you consider what's happened in the last few minutes.
Oh, dear. Oh, come on. And Quilliam will cast Cure Wounds on level 1 on him.
We wouldn't cast wouldn't use a spell slot on old Luna, but Rollins
his hands up at his head. He's just like,
So,
Or like
I
himself
really-
at this point.
I think that
He looks
the
very
wood-
hurt.
Yeah, kind of getting the instruction from Roby. I think Odella would start like taking off in that direction, like dashing, to see if she can like spot this Gallus who like what Evan who Evan, yeah.
yeah, it was Evan.
If you were going off, Quilliam would not let you go out before patting you grandfatherly on your shoulder, going, I know that you can do this very well, and cast heroism at first level before you go, if possible.
Sure.
Well, you're healing. Sure. I'll take it.
My man Quilliam is ripping through spells over here. With that, I think we see Odella like dart off down the road, her tail trailing behind her as Quilliam inspires her heroism. I think Rollins Corn is like standing there with his fingers on his head, and he's like, I have to be very honest. I'm really very confused at this point. I mean, it's one thing to take me captive. I'm just I mean, with the healing of the magic, I understand. I said a lot of terrible things, but I just am trying to do the best that I can.
Well, I know, but I'm a firm believer that people can change. And you were hurt, and, well, it goes against my nature to leave somebody who has repented in pain.
I'll be honest, you're really making me rethink my whole perspective on things here. I'm really sorry I stabbed you while you were laying there on the ground, but these quills hurt like a wasp sting.
Oh, I know. If my old chair at my house could talk, I'm sure it would say the same thing. But unfortunately, some of your friends broke that earlier today.
Oh,
Well, I mean, your friend there, she really is very fast. That's your sister? Congratulations, that's a very fast sister you've got.
She's marvelous.
I feel like I should come clean. It seems like our relationship is shifting by the moment as we're standing here a bit.
I think you can put your hands down.
I don't know
Sure,
about that.
Okay.
Well, if you
No, I'm gonna listen to the Jerbeen girl. I said some really terrible things. I'm sorry, Jerbeen girl.
I don't think
I'll
he's
keep
going
my
to
hands
run.
just right
If
here.
he runs, you're just going to cut off his legs at the ankle. Is that correct?
No, I like my legs.
But-
I like my feet.
I have questions. Mister,
Sure.
what did you want with this staff here? I think you should tell us the truth. And I think if you're lying, I think I might hit you anyway.
Oh no. Well, so the staff, I think he's like still looking down the road. It's like we just see like the dust trail. It's like go down.
The chase scene going on in
And
the
I think-
distance.
Yeah. I think that he says to you, his hands are on his head and he's like, look, I know I'm a bit of a blowhard, and you probably think that I'm a foppish fool as well, but the truth of the matter is, I was once actually a respected member of the Perch Guard in Alderheart. I know the histories. That staff is the stave of Titan. That staff was wielded in the ancient days, and well, it's not the only old thing that's been buried up and tucked away in these pardon my bird folk, but backwater villages like your own. And so,
Are you referring to me?
Maybe. No.
Oh, okay.
No.
Sorry.
I might have made a deal with an anonymous individual whose name I never really got, and I didn't quite get a good look at their face, though they had the stature of a bird folk, so I felt rather good about it, that if I could retrieve the staff, they would be able to return in payment with weapons and armor such that I would be able to arm up all the Dawncallers. Right?
Where were you supposed to
It's
give
just
them
a
the staff?
trade. You know Deepwell? Deepwell. That old monument to the Lady Brigitte on the road between here and Saltport. Saltersport? Oh my god, my head hurts.
Why would you want to arm up the Dawn Guard?
Once upon a time, bird folk were a noble lot. We could hold our beaks up with pride at what we brought to the wood. We built cities in the trees by the Amaranth. We were blessed. I'm just trying to get us back to where we belong. Once upon a time we were respected, and now we're no different than anybody else.
Well, I believe that's all just a matter of perspective. I think a folk, whether it be bird or humble, can belong anywhere it wants to.
Listen, I should have started with this. I was about to, but the Jerbeen girl distracted me. There's definitely a dozen bandits waiting at that fountain where your sister done gone running. You probably are going to want to catch up with her. I know there's a good chance you believe this is a bluff, but I promise you it's not. You lot have scared the eggs out of me far enough that I'll just stand here with my hands on me head until you come back.
Can I maybe? Can I get a feed on how truthful he's being about there being a bunch more where I've just, like,
Yeah,
said my sister should go
make an
after.
insight check, I guess. Let's see what kind of read you have. Yeah.
I would like to
It's not
help
my
with that or
strong
do the
suit.
same to give him advantage.
It's not my strong
Or I
suit.
could do one myself.
Let's give him
Yeah,
advantage.
I think that might be
Do
more
one yourself.
useful.
Yeah, you're doing your own read. This is like an insight thing. It's kind of tough. Okay. You don't know what to make of this Gallus, Odie. I mean, he's a mess. He was yelling at you. He wants to dance. He said horrible things. Now he's repenting. He seems very foolish. But Quilliam, I think you realize that he's got a bit of a simple brain, you know. There's not much to him, and he is in fact like being pretty straightforward. He's like actually got a little bit of concern in his voice, and he's like, I really, I never much liked all the killing. It just was a thing that I learned how to do as a young Gallus, and so I took to it, and I don't know. I thought that someday we might be able to rule Alderheart again, and honestly, I was a bit embarrassed when I got kicked out of the Perch Guard.
Are you sorry for what you did?
I regret it, and I'm not entirely sure that's the same thing. Somebody tried to explain the difference. I'm pretty sure I only regret it because you beat the piss out of me and killed all me soldiers. But, I mean, I don't know if that's close enough to sorry.
Well,
Mom says
I wouldn't do it
sorry
again.
doesn't count if you don't mean it. So she tells me that all the time because I often don't mean it.
Well, I can relate with you there.
William.
well, I suggest that. Oh, yes.
What did you do to get kicked out of the Perch Guard?
I think he's like, well, miss,
Get that arm workout going.
I got... Yeah. I think he's like,
This
well,
is just Rich
miss,
showing off the guns.
I got real drunk one night, and I might have broke into the vault and fallen asleep naked in the gold pile.
You Scrooge McDucked it? You're a rooster.
Look, it's really quite something. I've never seen that much coin in one place before, and it feels real good. It's all cold, rolling all over your body, getting in between. Do you even know what it's like underneath these feathers? I've got mites and dander and all manner of problems. It's not easy to keep this comb looking so fresh and supple. I mean, I have to polish the beard. It's really a hard day's work to be a bird folk in the humble.
You can use arrowroot powder underneath your feathers, and that will get rid of some of the tenderness and the itchiness.
You don't say.
Oh, yes.
I heard that when I was young, but I actually wrote it off. Is that what you do with the quills? It's actually very
I do.
similar.
That's how they're
Looking
so
at you
sharp. I
closely.
think you
You're
can
stalling.
appreciate how sharp they are now.
I'm sorry. I'm really not stolen. I'm trying to comply.
I-
Do you want to cut off one of my
Brilliant.
hands? I need both, but
Do you think he's saying
I think he's talking to you.
the truth about what's waiting at the deep well?
I think he is, yes. He's not a very smart individual.
And with that, without another word, Obi immediately sheaths his sword, casts Longstrider on himself, and goes rushing up the road after Ode.
Longstrider
And so I think
concentration.
that Rollins like turns
It's
looking
not-
back at the
it's
three
not
of you.
concentration.
It's not concentration. I think Rollins turns looking back at the three of you, and he's like, it was nice to meet you. Anyway, I'm not really sure what you want to be doing with me. I mean, do you want to tie me up?
Well, what do you think? I shall leave it to the
Want me to
ladies.
turn myself in? Well, that's sort of scaring me, to be perfectly honest with you. These ladies seem very fierce. I'm sorry about the comment with the antlers. I've always had trouble distinguishing between antlers and horns.
Oh, I'm sure you can trust them.
I've
He'll
got a
just
little
turn
bit
away
of,
and waddle
of-
after the two Mapach. It's like, I'm sure whatever they decide to do with you will be fair.
I think he looks back at you and he's like, you can hit me with the rolling pin if it'll make you feel any better. You wanna pull a feather out of one of my ears? It hurts like a bastard.
I think Holly's just gonna say to him,
Masochism going on with this particular Gallus. Hurt me.
"You're nothing but a coward. You're not worth my time." And she also takes off after the others.
And I think he turns like looking at you, Almond, and he's like, you know what the worst part of it was? She's right. And I think like a tear fills in his single black chicken's eye as we see the rolling pin dissipate next to you. And I think with like Holly like kind of bursting past Quilliam on the road, only further up than that, Odella well out of sight, he just looks back to you, Almond, and is like, I'm really sorry about all the murder and thieving. And I think that's where we end our episode.
Well done. We've split the party very well already.
We're just in a line. It's okay. About 6 seconds apart.
Poor Odella's just like this blip of dust in the distance as she's Speedy Gonzalezing as her way after the group.
You guys,
so fun.
I hope that was fun. Did you guys have fun? That was really fun.
On a rich Twitch stream. Get ready for after every episode. Say, I don't know if that was fun. I hope that was fun. Did you guys have fun?
I hope that was fun. I hope that was fun. Yeah. Yeah.
I had a terrible time.
That was freaking awesome.
The worst day of my life.
I'll take it. I'll take
This
it.
is
I'll take
amazing.
it. It really does feel amazing. I had like ideas for our little start here. I feel like there's like a bit of a through line for you and a clear place for us to pick up next week. Thank you very much for boldly running off into nowhere, Grace. That's awesome. Thank you for facilitating that. Also,
I guess I'm doing this.
Thank the rest of you. Yeah, thank the rest of you for leaving Rollins Corn alive. That's really a gift to the Philly family.
We did that for all of you.
Cannot let an NPC like that get away.
So I like had a notion for a name the other day, and then I woke up that I didn't write it down. Like, big mistake. I'm laying in bed and like I didn't want to reach for the notepad, and so I woke up the next day and was like, what was his first name? What was his first name? But I knew his last name was Corn, was the only thing I could remember. And then I've just been like going through like ridiculous things, and I don't really know how I landed on Rollins, but
cool.
It works in the end.
I know you can't because like Foghorn Leghorn like exists. He already is like a rooster, but like Rollins Corn certainly sounds like anyway. I'll say.
Yeah.
I thought about it, but
no, it's better that he has this its other accent.
That was ridiculous, you guys. There it is, episode 1 of Humbleyuir in the bag. That was awesome.
So good.
Oh, one of the highlights for me was like, okay, but how are you seeing me? I'm really well hidden. Oh, God. What are you doing?
It's like the thing that she like prides herself on is like being hidden and small and in that place, and yeah.
That and the short staff.
Two members of the party immediately found her.
Okay, I was sitting there knowing I needed to make the short staff joke, and was like so paranoid that someone would get to it first. That my brain is just like, like, when can you like get in and like make the joke? Yeah, gosh.
I had that moment earlier today. I'm gonna bring us back to the other screen 1 second. Ooh, fancy. Ooh, so fancy. Here we are, all your faces in like big, beautiful high res. We did it, you guys. Episode 1 of Humbleyuir. We've been talking about this for quite a while. I want to thank all of you for like coming here and playing D&D with me. Everybody hears me say it all the time, especially if you're hanging around these parts of the internet. But like, you know, I'm 41 years old. At this point in my life, the easiest way I have to make friends is like sitting at a D&D table. And over the course of the last year, I'd like to imagine that like a lot of us have become friends, that you all are my friends, and it truly has been like a joy to share like all these stupid and like, you know, anxious and stressful and really like emotional moments with you. So I'm just delighted to be able to like create some more of our own together in this little like international crew that we put together for the cutest show on Twitch TV.
Woo! It's the best. Yeah.
Crats, huzzah. Everybody like hanging out in the chat. Yo, thank you guys so much for being here. You guys seem like very excited, very eager. I hope this is a fun Friday night for you. It was certainly delightful for me.
Quick question for the chat. Yeah. So, what do you think Austin's class is?
Oh, yeah. We can't tell.
No.
I hope that's just a true end for the entire thing. Because to the last episode.
Jess is up sweat.
I don't know what he's is.
Jess is up sweat.
I'm up sweat.
Up sweat. I don't know, Druid. I really can't wait to talk to you, Jess Sterling, and hear you explain why you think that. But I'm excited. Yeah, just the deductive analysis. Yeah, it's funny because I was gonna put another line underneath everybody's name tag last night, but honestly, like in the debacle of trying to make sure that we had like good audio and video and Skype testing and all the other stuff that happened today, I just didn't get to it. And I was like, well, honestly, I think it's better off, right?
I kind of like it in the sense of like, obviously like mine is like very easy. My class is very easy to know what I am, but also like, it's not like I think that like, she's like sitting being like, I'm a rogue, I think she's just like good at being sneaky and like what, and whatever. And so I kind of like that they're more like, not as good at being sneaky as she thinks. But I do think it's kind of fun that it's like, until somebody else calls us like, oh, you're this, you just are that thing. You just become that thing,
Yeah. I very much love it. I like kind of like taking that like diagnostic part of it out and being like, no, they're just like people, right? It's just a character.
Yeah, well, I was saying
see.
like I came up with Holly's character first, and then I was like, oh, she's a fighter. Like obviously,
Right.
It wasn't like, oh, I want to play a fighter. Let me create one. It was definitely the other way around.
Yeah, it's fun. We had a good time like making the characters, We were like bouncing around a little bit, but we did like a whole kind of brainstorming session where we figured out a couple of things about the village. And I was like, what is the name of the old wizard who lives in the village? And they were like, oh, it's us, It's like, yeah, of course it is.
I'd forgotten about that.
Yeah. And then there was like a whole conversation about like who are the nearby bandits, and so the nearby bandits are the dawn callers, who are all chickens, which like I really just love. Nonetheless, I hope you guys are like intrigued and titillated and excited to see another episode. We're probably gonna play every 3 weeks ish or so. The goal here is like 3 to 5 episodes between now and the end of the year, and then we'll put a pin in it and see what happens next. But a little mini arc, a small campaign.
Fitting for us little critters.
For small folk. Yeah, precisely. I don't know. Is there anything else that you guys like? Whatever. Everybody had fun.
Just
probably
don't throw another combat at us immediately. Quilliam really burned through a lot of spell slots in this.
I was gonna say someone's too used to West Marches and like, oh, it's fine. I'll get to long rest before
I was sitting there being like, oh, you put the the doggos are like just with me and Quill. I'm like, we can't fight. Like, the 3 people are not here. But like,
I was thinking of it.
I want to fight them,
I was looking for a fight. I was gonna just keep trying to push until something happened. Yeah.
Well, Quilliam will stand by that he did not engage in that fight. The earth merely told those 2 guys where to go.
Yeah.
And then I forgot for a second that with their chickens, they can just fly away from the
glide
spike.
away.
They can
I just want to say to the folks out there in the chat, like my alerts weren't going off. So if you like donated or subbed or followed during the stream and I missed you, truly, I'm like, sorry. I'm always like very distracted when I'm doing these things, but I didn't realize until just now. So thank you to everybody who like hung out and like helped contribute at all. Like it really like makes a difference in my life and I appreciate it. And I'm glad because these folks did an incredible job and they deserve some love for it, So yeah. To that end, I don't know, what's everybody got going on this week? Aiden, you got anything like hypey coming in the next like week or so, or anywhere you want to point us to pay attention?
We haven't got an official date for it yet, but if you're looking to have a look at myself playing D&D over at Sabotage the DM, we have another somewhat magical campaign kicking off shortly that I will be taking a part of, but there are no official dates on that one yet. But it's going to be a lot of fun. There's cool characters in the making and one of the most interesting new settings. So a little bit of hype about that.
My friends at Sabotage the DM, our friends over here, DM Philly, they're really cool folks. They've run a really great stream, the Mall Rat stream. I was just there last week where I played in a TPK. And so, yeah, they're great folks. And I know what you guys have planned, and it's going to be awesome. I'm a little jealous. I would love to play with you. But Aiden, dude, thank you for participating in this. You're truly the hero here as it is like late.
Early, maybe even.
It's quite early. Yeah, it's kicking in. But as I said, the best time to play D&D is any time. So
It is. It's good. Aston, how about you? Is there anything that you just want to like point us towards, or like say, or like bring some awareness to as we like wrap up our first episode here?
Well, I don't really do much else in sort of the D&D realm, aside from post-show recaps Discord. Jump on over and join us, and you can join in the chaos over there. I am currently participating in some fundraising over here in Australia called Frocktober. So basically, wear a different dress every day, a frock, to help raise money and awareness for ovarian cancer research. There is a link to my fundraising page on my Twitter at Peppersmith for anyone sort of within Australia who wants to donate. I don't know if international, like people from overseas, can donate. But what I would love to see happen instead is if you want to donate some money to your local, state, country's ovarian cancer research foundation, that would be amazing. And even just let me know if you've done something like that. That would be great. It's something that is a big issue for those of us with ovaries right around the world. So, yeah, wearing a different dress every day. Got something kind of foresty going today. But yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Awesome. Go give Aston a follow. She is a very wonderful person. I'm so delighted to like have her here with. I guess we buried the lead. Maybe it's clear, but with her blushing husband right here himself, the dancer, the man of a mysterious class. Austin, how about you?
Hello. Yeah, if you like me and D&D, then yeah, come join us over at the Post Show Recaps Discord. I DM there and play, and it's a wonderful time. It's I cannot recommend it highly enough to come and play D&D with us there. Additionally, if you're into the Survivor thing, I write weekly articles for Inside Survivor. The US series has just come back. So if you're interested in my thoughts on what's going on the island, I usually try to link it on my Twitter, but it's over at insidesurvivor.com. And that's me. That's what I'm doing.
People are probably sick of hearing me say it, but Austin and I, we kind of like met tangentially years ago on the internet, just through like, oh, you like Survivor? Oh, you like Survivor? Oh, but you play D&D? Oh, you play D&D also? We should play D&D. And we danced around for a little bit, and so yeah, instrumental founding DM over at the Post Show Recaps Discord, and I've just had such a treat like getting to know you this last year and playing games, and I'm so happy that both you and of course you, Aston, are both able to like be here for this. Like, it's a delight because of like the time zones. We don't like play enough together, and I was like, we just need to like lock something down so I can like roll dice with you every couple of weeks. So thank you for participating. It was awesome.
That Venn diagram of Survivor and D&D is pretty it's bigger than I thought.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's
I'm doing my best to push one onto the other. Yeah. Melissa, how about you?
Yeah, people can follow me on Twitter at MelissaW28. I'm currently podcasting over on the PSR Patreon with Kevin Mahadeo. This month is Why. So we're watching spooky movies throughout the month of October. So our podcast, where we watch Detention with Todd the Librarian, dropped while this was happening. So if you're patron, go check it out. Next week we're watching Goosebumps, the Jack Black movie. So Kevin has gone very easy on me in terms of the amount of horror going on, which I greatly appreciate. But yeah, so hopefully it's a fun listen. We've done Twilight, we've done Hunger Games, so check it out. And then I don't know if I will be back on DM Philly before this happens, but I'm also doing a TPK over at Sabotage the DM on the 20th, so that will be very fun. Check that out.
Get hype.
So
I
much
know
fun.
the DM of that game, and
He's a
like,
total
totally
jerk.
gonna try killing
Yeah,
you,
I
Melissa,
really
so,
hate that
yeah.
guy.
You best come correct. It's always a treat. Grace, how about you?
I'm on Twitter
I saved the best for last.
The
You got a
most-
list. What do you got
the
going
most
on?
Most things.
I'm on Twitter
Yeah.
at High from Grace. On post show recaps, doing some movie coverage. We just had a podcast drop where we watched some movies from September: Dear Evan Hansen, Cry Macho. We watched a Clint Eastwood movie for some reason, and *Malignant* with LaTonya Starks. It was a lot of fun. And look out for like more coverage because there's like a lot of movies coming out and a lot of movies that we want to talk about, and I don't think we can fit them all into one podcast. So I think there's going to be some additional coverage. So look out for that. Also covering Succession season 3 coming up with Jess Sterling, Josh Wigler. That comes out in a few weeks. There's a preview podcast that dropped. We played Survivor with the cast in a preview podcast that's coming up. So Survivor, Succession, D&D overlap, but not D&D in that podcast. But on the Patreon feed, I'm talking about James Bond.
I was gonna say, how'd you get the D&D in with the other two? That's a lot.
Because I'm talking about it on a D&D Twitch stream. So yeah.
Sure.
James Bond rewatch podcast happening on the Patreon feed. There was one last episode of on the Silent Podcast Network talking about Black Widow Brigade, a fun YouTube series. Some of our friends are on it, so that was fun. Thanks to Austin for the spreadsheet. It was very, very helpful. Talking about Taskmaster on twitch.tv/Haley Strong every Friday. So yeah. I think that's it. That's probably all I got going on right now.
Oh, was that all?
Yeah.
Just a few little things.
I probably did forget something.
What do you do when you're done? You want to do a podcast where we like wrap up and just we like do an autopsy on this show that we just finished?
Yeah,
'Cause, like,
wrap up show.
I feel like
show.
I think you could almost do a wrap-up show of all your wrap-ups at
I
this
know.
point.
Yeah.
This week in Grace.
Grace
Oh.
is doing awesome stuff.
This
Yeah.
weekend, the Monday is Canadian Thanksgiving. So happy Canadian
Oh
Thanksgiving.
yeah.
Give thanks.
Do you guys eat turkeys for Canadian Thanksgiving?
We
Is that
what?
a
That's
thing?
just why we're all thankful for Canada.
Eat turkey.
Do we do turkeys? Yeah.
Yeah, we do turkeys. It's very similar to your Thanksgiving. Only, we're
It's on a
terrible to
weekend.
indigenous
Yeah.
people in our country instead of yours.
Oh yeah, I mean we were really horrific, so don't sweat it. Listen, we can't all be contempt for the mistakes of our fathers. We just have to do better. Do better now. That's the goal.
Yep.
I love this group. I could sit here and keep playing all night. I'm gonna let Aiden go to bed.
Well, no, I'm wired. I'm playing another game now. I'm ready to go.
Yeah, really. I am Rich Filiberto. I'm DM Philly. This is what I do. I'm hanging out over here. We do a bunch of shows. Monday nights, Firelight Tales, Titans airs. It's going to be wrapping up very quickly. I'm not 100% sure if we're back this Monday or not. I'm waiting to hear back from scheduling. On Sunday nights, you can catch us playing the awesome tabletop role-playing game City of Mist in Kings of Neon, where a group that was a book club have been awakened to strange and mysterious powers. We have the Mothman and the One Ring of Power and all manner of other weirdness happening there. One person might be Aladdin. I'm not sure. I'm a little bit even confused about it. We're taking this week off because people are traveling and it's Canadian Thanksgiving and I want to celebrate. And then Tuesday nights, you could catch at least Melissa and Grace and myself where we play Dragonfly D&D in space. And I think that according to some rumblings out there on the internet and some Unearthed Arcana stuff that was released today, Spelljammer confirmed. Yes, I love it. So we're kind of excited about that. We have a really good time there. We hate oppression. We love kobolds, all that kind of good stuff. Also space dogs. I mean, it's cool. It's a good time. If you like this, you'll like that. What else do I have going on? On Monday at 2 p.m. Eastern. I'm lying. It might be 3 p.m. Eastern, which would be 7 p.m., 8 p.m. British Standard Time. I'm learning how to do math. I will be participating in a show over at Sabotage the DM as well. I am playing
Sir Pinch Poppy Bloom, Swordmaster of the Green and Oathsworn of the Crossroads.
I am the captain of a storm captain on a flying citadel racing through the skies. And we turn, and a second citadel has appeared from the cloud bank behind us, and so we are unleashed to prevent mayhem.
And to cause it.
I am very excited. I'll be playing a fairy paladin, and I either will die or kill many things on the way. So it's going to be a great time. And then, yeah, on the 20th over at Sabotage the DM, I may or may not be running a TPK where I try to kill my friends, because I play a lot of D&D with my friends and I don't like to kill them. I cry. Sometimes it happens and I get so upset, but this time I'm gonna laugh.
Oh, I'm gonna make you cry.
I'm gonna
So
crush you
it's
guys.
so easy, Rich. Come on.
I know. We're both gonna be sobbing by the end of it like a pair of goofballs. Who's even kidding too? This was freaking awesome, you guys. Humbleyuir, a Humblewood story, the cutest show on Twitch TV. Episode 1 down. Keep an eye out over on my Twitter, and you will hear about when we do this again.
So cute. We didn't murder everyone.
It's very cute. I think that with that, this is the point where I say to you guys, we wave at the camera and we just go like this. Bye.